I came to you, you know what? Probably not you, because you'd bail. You.
What the fuck?
You heard me. You'd spill the bomb. So tomorrow, in the name of Christ.
Just because he's black. I had to bring him back into it.
God damn.
I had to bring him back into it.
Do you realize
Of course
there's three white guys, and I asked the black guy to get this done.
He's
right?
like, yeah, he's
All
gonna,
right?
maybe he'll just follow through. It's not about the violence.
Yeah,
part of
it
it.
goes
It's like,
it goes back to what I believe in.
Yeah.
All right, my boy's gonna get it done. My boy, see right there, I'm canceled. That's
done for,
bullshit.
dude.
What's up?
You're digging yourself a grave,
Yeah,
boy.
fucking can I have another shovel? This one's not going fast enough. No. So I ask you tomorrow. All right, you're gonna go down to Pierre Bush Mall, which we all know has 3 people in it and nothing going on.
Yeah.
But public place,
Mhm.
in the name of Christ, bang! I want you to blow it up. You would tell me to go get fucked, right? Yeah. Okay. Hey, Independence Bowl next Saturday. Got this shit here. Put this in your backpack. I can get you in the side door. Take off the south end zone in the name of Christ. You in? If you thought too long, that's scary. I know your answer.
No, but the reason.
Hang on.
Go ahead. Keep going.
he's like, were they non-believers?
Is it a commitment level or a human level?
Right, because that's what I was about to interject, is because the reason that I thought so long is because that's the thing about religion. Is
Exactly.
that the thing is, if you believe so heavy, just like if I believe so heavy, they told me to crash into the Twin Towers for 9/11.
Which, by
And
the
in
way, is
name
a
of-
whole nother subject. Those motherfuckers had it on. There's no way I could hold that stick. And hit it. But go ahead.
But
Take the tragedy out of
in-
it. That's
in the-
fucking impressive.
right in the name of Christ, if somebody told me that that's what I had to do in the name of Christ,
You know.
and I'm so believing in that, that's what I would do. Because if
Would you though?
No, listen to me. Listen to what I'm saying. How convinced are you? That's the point of it. Because if I'm convinced enough that this is exactly what I have to do in the name of Christ.
Okay.
Would Christ want that?
But
But that's
pause.
what I'm. That's
Teachings.
okay. No.
Pause, real quick,
Okay,
real quick,
okay,
just
okay,
real
go ahead,
quick,
go ahead,
just
go
real
ahead,
quick.
go ahead.
I opened up
So
a can of worms.
you
This is
okay,
beautiful. I love
if
it.
you go, if you say, all right, how convinced am I? That means you're just a ignorant Christian because you're not
Sure.
truly following what God's
And I would
teachings
say that
were.
as well. But what
Right.
I'm saying
Bring up
is.
ignorant again in one
But
minute.
what I'm saying is, for some odd reason,
Talking to him.
you truly believe that Christ is telling you this is where the faith comes in. You truly believe you talked to Jesus last night, and that's just what your brain or Christ, whatever you believe, for the person would.
So like
probably
an
be.
Abraham situation with his son, where you go up
It's
to
a
the
test.
mountain. And
Exactly.
You,
So it's
Yeah.
like
It doesn't
you
let you
truly,
do it.
you truly
Okay.
believe that is in honor of Christ and a good thing, and everybody who dies from it was bad. Like you're convinced that this is something that you have to do in the name of your Savior, your Lord. So obviously, from the conversation we had, I'm not convinced to go do something like that for the name of Christ, because I know beyond that little belief that.
Here we go again.
God damn it.
Can we put that over here?
Yeah, beyond the little belief that I have, I wouldn't do something like that, because I know more beyond that everybody is just as valuable as the next person.
Okay.
But somebody who believes could also not comprehend that we are all, which is the big thing that kind of gets me, where it's like we all are valued until somebody does something really fucked up or really bad or whatever, and suddenly they're not so valuable. When to me, everybody's just as valuable, no matter how bad of things you do.
Which is a correct
Go ahead.
answer. You thought it through.
At the end of the day, Christ forgives murderers to the extent of what the Bible says. No matter how bad you do, you can be forgiven by God, no matter
Yeah,
what
and
you
see
do.
that's where I get a little copped out on the fucking admit the I'm forgiven on my deathbed because I did all these horrible things. There's atrocities that are unforgivable, and
I believe so too.
maybe that's the mortal side of it.
Yeah,
Yep.
But
Yeah, for sure.
certain things are just,
word of the Lord is anything that you've done can be forgiven. I get it. That's where my hypocrisy creeps in with the Catholicism, the Catholic religion, because
I wish my dad was here because he's Catholic as well. Keep
See,
going.
I went to Catholic school, and that's why
So
I'm
did
jaded.
he. So did
That's
he.
why I'm jaded.
Yeah.
So I'm anything but Catholic.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, and it's a stretch, but I was discriminated against because I wasn't.
Mhm.
And I think that may have started my whole fucking this is bullshit. Why does color of your skin matter or your religion matter?
Mhm.
And that may have steered me in the direction to be the way I ended up being.
Yeah.
Whereas it doesn't matter where I hate white people. Did I just say that? But my point is,
Yeah.
you're right in your answer
Mm.
because you know that you would do anything for your God,
Mm.
but you know your God wouldn't want you to do that.
Exactly.
And then
Right.
Cameron brought up a
Right.
dilemma that screwed my entire point. Thank you, that Abraham,
Yeah.
kill your son, and he got up there. He didn't let him do it. So at that point, now that's a whole nother level that I never thought of. Is
Yeah.
this a test?
There's a test of faith.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
know,
They
but
say
when you
if
come
it's-
time to let go of the suicide switch, the test is over and you killed innocent people.
Well,
Mm.
And I think that separates it two, and it became macabre to almost racism because now we discriminate against Muslims. Not all Muslims think that way. In fact,
Right.
none of the Muslims think that way. There's a few that are out there, but that's a good point, and that was an awesome point. So
Mhm.
my point was totally mooted in that entire exchange, but it made me think more because you're right. You would do anything for your God. Would your God ask you to do this?
Exactly.
Cameron threw in,
And
yes,
that's the
he
part.
will ask you to do it, but he's not going to let you do
And
it.
that's the part where certain people will kind of just blind faith. That's a big word my dad always uses is blind faith. Shout out to my mom. I love my mom, but she is blind faith. She is like, I would do anything
Word of
for
the
my
Lord.
God. And yeah, absolutely. And I'm just kind of like more logical. I just think through things. I'm just more like, and not saying that she doesn't, but
No, absolutely.
just saying like
I
there's
think
certain
it-
things where I just kind of see through it, and I'm just kind of like, my God wouldn't want me to do that.
we've
should've-
we've made tons of points, and I'll make it again. Is I really think that the divinity that God gave us was the fact that we had a brain to be able to think through the things that we do.
And
Right?
to me, that's the core of it. Yeah.
If I really do believe that the things that differentiate us between other living animals that are here that God created was going to be our ability to process things,
Deduction.
our morality, yes, to
Deduction.
be able to deduct and deduce things that each situation allows us to apply not only our thought process but also our freedom of will.
All right, I'm
Right.
going to admit something right here where
Right.
it questions my faith.
Okay.
Okay.
We just made a joke, holding the stick all the
Yeah.
way through that building. Fucking impressive.
Yeah.
But to do it on faith,
Mm.
can I do it? I don't think I could do it.
But that's what I was gonna
I
say.
think
Is
at
like
some
the
point
person,
you know it's wrong.
the person
and
flying.
the second guy, crank that bitch sideways to take out more floors.
That's what I was
Yeah.
gonna
You're
say.
just
Is like
oh my
I
god.
get it. Like to us
Right?
as questioning individuals, it's like question enough, and it doesn't make sense.
Mm.
But you have so much faith, you don't question enough because you're so so directed by the faith you have.
Don't you
and what
find
you
that as a
believe.
problem?
I do find it as a problem because that's what I'm
Yes,
saying.
yes,
Is
yes.
I feel like the people who did that truly believed in their heart they were doing
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were doing good
Yeah.
to them.
And
That's just like
evil-
Christians.
as
That's
evil-
just like Christians who say that Muslims should dissipate because they, at the core, believe to get rid of people who don't believe in their faith. That's to me. It's like
It's the strongest.
It's
the
struggle.
strongest.
You
faith.
take the evil and you take the tragedy away from it.
Mm.
I'm a lesser man than those guys.
Mm.
I can't do that. I love my wife.
Satan, no.
I
So,
love my
go ahead,
kids.
go ahead.
Here's my thing, though.
Go ahead.
Here's my thing. Satan will use the glory of God
Mhm.
in his benefit,
yes.
it will.
right?
He will.
So he
Blessings
he-
also don't just come from God; they come from Satan as well.
Yes,
Yes.
and he will use the mask of God and the glory of God in order to do his will because he's a liar,
Exactly.
right? He's a deceiver.
I agree.
But is
The-
he?
So if you want to believe, right, we can dive into that, but real quick,
He's trying to go ahead.
yeah, we
I
can
want to hear. I want to hear more about that.
we can dive
Sure.
into that, right? But if you look at if Satan goes, oh man, my entire deal is to pull people away from God, and I'm to pull them away from the light by doing evil things, right? You think he's not above saying, hey, this is what I want, this, and construing because you just said too, you were like multiple religions were pretty similar, right? Pretty similar. I mean, we have the same characters
You have the
in the
same
same story.
characters in the same
right?
story. It just stops and starts at a different point.
Yes. So if you
And
have
that's a pretty layman's ignorant way to
yeah,
put it.
absolutely.
All right, we don't know the details of how that all happened, and I'm sure there's a lot more. You should have actually bring Lizzie on.
Yeah,
and
Lizzie
she could tell
is
you.
very she's very
but-
well versed in
But
that.
I agree with that. But my thing with the Satan part is, at one point Satan was the right hand man,
Mm.
and then he was banished.
Mm-hmm.
But that should be even more evidence because Satan knew how God operated.
I understand, and that's what gives him the inner knowledge. He's not as ignorant as we put him out to be, just evil. He's out for retribution.
Yeah.
And retribution is in human nature, no matter what we want to sit here and say. Somebody wrongs us, we want to get them back, right? All the shit I said to fucking Cam tonight, he's going to get me back. And I know it, and that's fine. But you have to live with that. And so...
Is that a godly thing or is that a Satan thing?
It's a Satan thing.
Because of sin, right?
Right. But all of our sin was forgiven by the death of Christ. If you honestly believe in something to the point of willing to die for it, does that make you question your own faith? Because I would not, it was also brought up, Abraham asking to sacrifice his son. He took his son on the mount. He traveled for how many days, knowing he's going to kill his son. Got out there, actually was about to do it.
Yes.
And then God was like, no.
Basically,
you passed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're like, what if...
You did a good job.
Yeah,
Stop.
you get it. You don't have to do it.
Yeah.
There is nothing on earth that I would sacrifice my child or children, even Emily. Well, I don't know.
Gotta think about
That's a
that.
different one, yeah.
No, I'm kidding. To do something against my wife, my family in general,
favorite.
right? Yeah. The password for everything,
Yeah.
you fucking jack.
Yeah.
So no, the fact that it makes you question your own faith when you put it in perspective of, would you do this? No, I wouldn't. Would you do this? No, I wouldn't. Would I hold that stick all the way, seeing that building at 600 miles an hour and crank the bitch sideways, knowing you're
Yeah,
taking out more
and-
floors? No, I
Okay,
wouldn't.
so I want to expand on that because if God told me directly to do it, I would. So here's my explanation. This is what I feel that these other people, whether they were on drugs or whether they what do you call it, meditated to a point of consciousness that
Euphoria?
or if
Enlightenment.
I truly was here sitting with y'all right now
Horny?
and God what did you do? What?
Sorry, go ahead. I'm listening.
Yo, anyway.
Hey,
I'm
yo.
just yelling out words that I'm feeling
Other
right now.
states of mind.
Anyway.
Now, would I fly the plane in for that blonde from fucking O'Malley's in Chicago in 1992? God
I'm being
damn
selfish
right.
as fuck.
You motherfucking right, I
You
would.
motherfucking right.
He's
God,
talking
you
about
said
Anyway.
sideways. Sideways.
I'll turn that shit.
90
Flip
degrees?
it around,
Yeah,
bitch.
okay.
Flip it.
So,
Anyway.
but what I mean by that is
you mean by
so
that?
if I truly believed, if God showed face and I was just like, and God told me directly, you need to do this for the good of humanity, I would truly believe that.
All right. So, knowing what you know now, at what point do you not question that was God talking to you?
Thank you. That's what I was about to ask.
No, wait, say that again. Say
Okay.
it. That's a good question.
All right.
Because-
I'll slow it down for you.
Yeah,
Knowing as you know now,
Right. Okay.
as a human right of mind, as
Where I'm at right now.
Right
Okay?
now.
Let's go.
God is talking to you, at what point do you question, is that God really talking to you?
Because Satan is a deceiver.
Thank
Right.
you.
Okay.
He
And
is a
I agree with that.
deceiver.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that. But
What do you need for confirmation?
that's a good question. And that part
Because you're killing people.
I didn't think through. But that's just like, okay, people say that war is bad. I'm against war. I wish that we didn't have war. But sometimes I do think that war is necessary.
100%.
I do think that's necessary. I do think if a group of people thinks that they need to take over this world and make it right to them, if I don't see that same perspective, I'm just like, no, if y'all are trying to go to crazy lengths to make this world this certain thing, no, war is necessary because you're not doing that, right? I don't even know how to answer that 100% because
we'll
I'm
give you
just
time.
I'm
I mean,
no,
now I'm not
because
putting you on
I'm
the
just
spot.
kind of like, to me, I'm just saying without the question. That's what I'm talking from.
Okay.
Without the question of, is this God talking to me?
But you
If
have to
I'm
put-
literally just sitting here and
We're just using 9/11.
let's just say randomly I'm completely sober and I just randomly see God pop up as a hologram or something over here and tells me you need to do this for the good of humanity. What do I know better than that is God talking to me and I need to do this for the good of humanity?
Well, first of all,
Right.
that was the most millennial thing I've ever heard because God's not coming to you as a hologram, you fucking queer.
I mean, no, I
But-
understand that, but what I'm saying is though, like people truly believe, just like people say, people. No. I
I
respect what you're saying, but
No.
I'm also saying
It's going to
just
be
like
a voice.
just
It's
like
gonna be
people
in your
say,
dreams.
just like people say they talk in
Yeah.
tongues. How do you talk in
No,
tongues? Because
well-
I've never seen that, and
Right.
I've never talked in
Hey,
tongues.
And it's
Hey,
scary.
So it doesn't make sense to me.
To be fair, okay.
And it's only scary because we
Two-
don't never seen it.
Exactly, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Two things. One, God's going to appear to you the way that you feel the most comfortable with him.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's how he's going
So
to
as
appear
another
to you.
man,
Okay.
Sure. Sure. Whatever's comfortable
Whatever
for you.
floats your fucking boat.
So God's going to appear to you how you feel comfortable.
Okay.
Right? If
most
he's,
believable.
if he's truly trying to communicate to you, he's going to come in the most believable way possible, like you're saying.
Ziggy.
Exactly.
Yeah. If Ziggy starts talking to
Ziggy's
you,
gonna
you're
turn
going to
around and talk to me
believe
and
that
goes,
God.
blow up this
yeah.
building. I'm gonna go blow up the fucking building. That's
Gotcha.
my dog, by the way.
Yeah.
His childhood. dog.
Gotcha.
He's still alive.
Okay.
So
Good to know where you stand.
yeah.
The dog told me to do it. Dog. God is backwards for dog.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Go ahead.
So
Correlation.
but it goes back to my point, and it goes back to two things that I truly believe in, which is one, that God put a philosophy on this planet and he spoke it in a way that allowed us to be able to understand it, right? And I said this on a previous podcast,
Yeah.
which is a 7-year-old,
Episode number 14.
if you're explaining something to a 7-year-old, you have to dumb it down to what a 7-year-old's going to understand.
Exactly.
Mm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He put very, very concise ideas, right? Where if you believe in me and this is what I want, this is what you need to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
And if it contradicts that, I'm going to say,
Contradicting yourself.
I don't think you're really God,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
I
Understandable.
don't
Understandable.
yeah, like I
Discernment.
Yeah.
Discernment.
Flag
is,
on the
is
play.
word.
Okay.
Discernment. For
Okay.
Sure.
Go
We
ahead.
also pick and choose what we want to hear out of the Bible. Like
Right.
if you read it all
Yes.
the way through, it's some evil shit.
there's some evil shit that
Okay, so
Yeah.
for-
Old Testament
if
God
you
did.
go Old
Yep.
Testament and say, okay, you want me to do what? Oh, drive into a Christmas market. Topical last night, Germany. Okay, did you guys hear about that? 80 people injured. Anyway,
Wow. No, I didn't hear
I
that.
didn't hear about that either.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Get off TikTok. So,
Get on some real news.
you guys,
Fox News.
you guys will hear
motherfucker.
about. Oh yeah, that's where I live. Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
Tucker Carlson, baby.
So my point is that there's evil enough shit
Yeah.
where if you knew the whole story and didn't get spoon fed the good parts,
Right.
Yeah,
this is
Right.
good. Treat everybody equal, honey.
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
love you so much. Doesn't matter the color of your skin. I don't know why that ended up on you, but so we sit there, and if you actually look back, it ain't shit for him to ask you to fly a plane into a building.
Right.
And so
but
when
all
you-
of the atrocities he did. He never asked of anyone else. He did it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
They would-
Abraham, bro.
You're asking him, but he never did it.
But he went all the way through. He had the knife in his hand.
And he also but here's also the thing.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
He
Preach,
also
King. Preach,
he,
King.
He also said before that
Should I have my hat off? Is
Sa-
this like professional?
No.
Satan said,
Put it back on, please.
Said,
Please.
Satan.
Bold.
You hear that a lot.
Stop. Put it back on.
Put it back on.
Yeah, he hears that a lot. He's like, look, I'll give you twice as much. Just get back dressed.
Please put it back
Fucking, this is
on.
the
My
opposite
point-
of stripper.
My point is Abraham was Old Testament. Okay,
Yes.
Yeah.
for one. Okay, for one. And
He's also a Chevy dealer in
But it
Tampa, Florida.
also
Abraham Chevrolet. Go ahead.
So Satan was talking to God and saying, if Abraham believes so much, if that's your star pupil on this planet,
Mm.
right? And that's the one that you're highlighting as humans can be good, right? He was asking God to test the faith of humanity, right? And in order to do that, he said, make him kill the only person that he truly loves, which is his firstborn son.
Second.
Second-born son,
Yeah.
yes. So he
Right,
tells him
right,
to
yeah,
that's
right.
the test, right?
I know.
Can we just pause for a second? He just called that shit out. That was awesome.
Corrected the fuck out of it. Yeah,
I love it.
sorry
No,
about
That was
that.
nice.
Yeah.
That was
Listen,
nice.
I've-
Second, bitch.
He's educated.
Shut your fucking
no,
white
I
mouth.
just do
No.
a lot of research.
No, you're right. You're
You're
right.
right.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
So
And he was also a little, which is a whole nother podcast.
what are we talking about?
I don't know. I don't know.
You just keep reading.
Anyways, religion.
Am I right? Yeah, he was a little. Uh-huh.
Keep going.
Damn, there he goes getting
He
S2.
said, ha
Bam, my dear, over here. Here we go.
Man, here we go.
Here we go.
ah!
All right. So anyway,
So that got like a real deep, real quick. But I agree.
I forget what the point we were trying to make was.
That was long buried.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was probably about Volvo versus Mercedes or something. But I agree 100% what you're saying. And then going back to what we picked up on, the word ignorant is just a word. It actually means something. You can't adopt that into being racist nor demeaning.
No. Definitely.
I've lived it. I've lived with it twice. Once in my bed, once next door. I just quit using the word. Honest to God. I mean, I did, and it's just it's kind of fucked up. But okay, and that's what we're getting to. And it's
Yeah.
like growing up. When I grew up, Gen X, like that's a big thing, whatnot. But we didn't have the technology, so we had to learn to adapt to the technology. And now we're being chastised because we have the technology. And it's like, you gave this shit to us. Okay? I remember dial-up, trying to fucking send an email that took 10 minutes. But I also remember going out and not coming back until the streetlights came on. Grandma could have died. The whole world could have been fucking destroyed. I wouldn't find out until 7 o'clock when the fucking lights came on. I come home, you couldn't be found. That's why it was so easy to cheat. I'm at work. Nobody calls you at work.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a different world you live in, and then being that guy, being told what to say and what you've used in your vocabulary forever, I can't even like the rainbow anymore. That's trivial, but it's funny. You took it from me.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
stupid.
yeah.
That's retarded. Don't do. Oh, I can't say retarded. Oh, that's gay. Oh, I can't say. What the fuck? Go back and watch any '80s movie. Watch Weird Science. Watch
Right,
anything you
right.
want to watch. That's how we grew
That's
up.
that's a big thing for me, is because to me, and I relate to comedy the most, because I feel like comedy, to be funny, everybody gets a little bit of it.
And you can
Black
deal,
people,
and you
black
can deal
people,
with
white
everything.
people, Mexicans,
Yeah.
and gay, straight.
straight,
It doesn't
yeah.
matter. Everybody gets a little bit of the shit, and to me, that's to me what makes everything so beautiful. Is like when you suddenly, it's like, okay, you can't make jokes about gays. You can't make.
They
jokes
say
about
that's
these
the
things.
barometer of society is
Yep.
whenever if you can't joke about it anymore, that's when it's a true issue where you're taking that too far.
And that's
Yeah,
where you
and-
look at the true greats that are they're obviously at a point where they don't give a fuck.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep. Fuck you money type shit.
Bill Burr, Anthony Jeselnik,
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy to this day.
You know,
Yeah.
you know how
Fucking,
many.
David Chappelle.
You know,
how much
Dave
money?
that's what I was about to say.
Fuck to?
You but real quick, because Dave Chappelle was about the person I was just about to bring up. You know how many people make jokes about, like, say, white people? Just make jokes about it. I
And we-
laugh with it.
Yeah.
I laugh with it. It's
Because
great.
it's true.
I'm white,
It's
but
true.
no matter what he says
That's true,
about white
yeah.
people, for everything he said, I never got offended. I'm just like, motherfucker's right. you know, and then there's
has he ever
certain
made you question something you did next?
and
Because you heard that.
there's certain
I have. I'm
there's
being
certain
honest.
subjects where they bring up and it's like you can't joke about that. You can't say that. It's like
What is it?
That's why I'm so glad that Elon bought like Twitter and shit. Because to me, we need more people like that are like, dude, say whatever you want. If it's not illegal, say it.
Yep.
And what's not illegal is making jokes about white people, black people, gay people, straight people, LGBT, whatever the fuck you want to say. There's nothing illegal about making those.
LGBTQSTPXT2Y.
RTD2,
Okay,
whatever
just
the
making
fuck.
sure.
I don't care.
C3PO,
But what
let's
I'm
go.
saying
I got
is, you can make jokes about it and it's okay. But the fact that you're getting so offended about those jokes, it's like, come on, dude. Like, how long have we been making jokes about white people? How many jokes have we? How long have we been making jokes about
Can
black
I bring
people?
up something interesting that I saw this week?
Go ahead.
So they were showing the videos of Hitler, and there's AI that has come out that is just allowing it's translating what Hitler's saying in English, right? And everybody, like, I was convinced, and this is what Joe Rogan said also, right? This was on his podcast, and he goes,
I think he
goes-
says that. He knows I love Joe Rogan.
yeah,
My favorite
I got to
podcast.
bring him in there. So, but he was saying the same thing that I thought, which was I thought Hitler was going, we have to kill the Jews. We have to, everyone's against us. Yada yada yada. No. Like, he wasn't saying any of that.
You would
Really?
agree with everything he said.
He was saying, like, I fought for this country. I fought for this nation, and now we're being discriminated against all other nations, and I will need you to stand with me because I stood for you. And you're like, yeah, like, he's a veteran. You know what I mean? Like,
And what's fucked up is basically the entire damn English translation of his message, and this is horrible, but it was make Germany great again.
it was. It was. It
Really?
was.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because World War One, right? If you know your history, World War One, they were coming out of an economic crisis
Yeah.
where
That they've never seen.
they've never seen before. Like, it took wheelbarrows of, there's a famous picture of wheelbarrows of cash to buy one loaf of bread. That's how bad it was. Their
Yeah.
inflation
The marks
was
down to
terrible.
nothing.
Yeah, so Germany had no military. They had been stripped of all of the land that they had earned before World War One, right? And they were inside a point where they were like, we don't know what to do. We're being, the world looks at us like we're evil. We have no military. We can't stand up for ourselves.
Well, actually, after
all
World
this
War
stuff.
One, they were discounted. The world looked like they didn't exist.
Yeah.
They didn't deserve to be a country. They weren't evil yet.
Right.
It was because of the speech they became evil.
So they turned around and they said, we need to generate our own economy, and by doing so, we're going to create our own military or build our military back up. And so all of the things, it came out of a time of desperation similar to where we're at, where, and I hate saying anyone looks like a Nazi. I hate that.
It's
Right?
probably the worst word you can use against somebody.
100%.
Derogatory.
Because it's
Right.
true. To me, there's been very few
Now, I've been
times
to a
on
Nazi
the...
picnic. Ask about that later.
He really did.
I
will.
had no idea.
On accident.
No idea.
I've never been to a Nazi meetup on accident before, but this motherfucker has. So
He's the guest. He's a co-host.
so
I'm expendable and he's here forever. By the way,
yeah. Thanks again.
Gentlemen. Yeah, shout out.
So my whole point is, and to piggyback off of what you said, I think there has not been many times on the planet where there's been true evil that we can all agree on universally that was evil.
but back up from that where you were starting, we got interstate systems.
Mm-hmm.
The Volkswagen. For real. That was him. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And it's like, oh my God, he could have done so much good if 3 people
Well,
didn't discount his
Be-
art.
well,
And he went the fuck off.
it-
and it's like, really? That's what we came down to? And I know I'm simpling it.
Yeah,
It wasn't
100%.
because these people fucking discounted his art, but that's what started it. He thought he was an artist. And the Jews that ran the art thing said that it was shit, that it was junk. We don't like it. You're a joke. And that's what implanted that in his head. Meanwhile, he goes on and creates the interstate system. The Autobahn, amazing.
he didn't
Develops the
create
Volkswagen.
Autobahn.
Well, he developed it. He paid for it.
He paid for it.
But
Doesn't matter. Yeah,
My
I'm
point
sorry.
is
I'm
that he
discounting.
put
I'm
it-
sorry. Yeah,
it's
you're
okay.
right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just saw that get debunked, and that's what was on the mind, top of mind. So I'm sorry.
all
Yeah.
three of us are going to debunk this.
Yeah.
My point, my
I'm sorry,
point is-
Dad.
Is he saying shit?
My bad, Dad.
I'm out. It's past my bedtime. But they he was heading in such a great direction, and then it went so fucking wrong. And it's like we're talking about Hitler. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Glad
no
to
problem.
be back.
Yeah, glad to have you. So that's what we've come up with. No,
Cut out.
the whole the whole thing went sideways on him, and it's like you always hear, and this is the part that you started that I was gonna piggyback on. It's like he was such a great speaker that he was believable and such a great speaker. Do you know how many times I got sick of hearing about how great of a speaker Obama was? Obama was a great speaker, but that didn't make him a good man. And he was a good man before he was a great speaker.
Right.
And why does he have to be clean? Why does he have to be presentable? No other politician has ever been presented in that light, and it pisses me off. That
There
was
was a
like
microscope.
Brock. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
he's a great speaker. So was Hitler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obama was a
Exactly that.
much better man. Okay? And it's like, it goes to a question, and I wish he was here, but he didn't know any presidents. One president that you could have fucking beers with. You can get drunk with right now. You're gonna go
JFK?
out tonight. You're gonna go with
Yeah.
JFK? He'd be too busy fucking people.
Theodore Roosevelt is who I would pick. Theodore Roosevelt's my favorite president.
Yeah, either JFK, Theodore Roosevelt, or Abraham Lincoln. It'd be those three.
Don't go to the theater.
I definitely wasn't.
It's not that good. Not that good of a show.
Dude, I'd 100% go Obama. He's chill as
Fair enough.
fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't agree with everything he did. Don't agree with everything he was trying to do.
Right.
But if I had to have a beer with one guy,
Mm-hmm.
it definitely wouldn't be Trump.
Mm-hmm.
He's a dick.
Yeah.
All right, another beer. You know what I mean? And I'm like, fuck you. I think it would have to be Obama.
I could see Obama.
Because
Yeah.
he's down.
It would depend
Or it's
on
an act.
it would
and I bought it.
it would depend on the thing that we were going to like. What are we talking about? What do we, what, am I trying to have a intellectual
Let's ask him. He's
conversation?
back. So, anybody, okay, anytime in history, what man would you have sex with? Wow, he's thinking. There's a list. boys. There's a list.
Don't think
There's
about
a
it.
list.
No, stop.
If you could
Stop.
have beer with
Stop
any
thinking.
president,
What time?
if you could have
what time
beer-
period are we talking?
Oh, damn. My
Did
boy-
they have showers?
What kind of showers?
My boy's like Jack Nicholson now or 1977. No, if you could have beer with one president.
Well,
Beer with one person.
Sit down with the president and have beers. Who would it be?
President?
Twice now. President. That's three.
I'd say Abraham Lincoln.
Wow.
I feel
You
like,
guys have a threesome.
but I feel like
I didn't say Abraham Lincoln.
no, but I feel like
No, I didn't.
I
No,
feel
no,
like
he said.
I said
okay,
Theodore
JFK.
Roosevelt and
Yeah.
Or
JFK.
JFK.
okay,
Who
but
said Abraham
but my
Lincoln?
thing,
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
of
but my
course you
thing
did.
is
That's
because
bullshit. Come
because I've heard of Abraham Lincoln so
3/5
much.
of him would go with Abraham Lincoln.
I've heard so many conversations with Abraham Lincoln. I just feel like there's
But do you think he'd be cool to have a beer with? Hey man, how was your day? Well, today I mean, really have a
okay,
beer
but
with.
but even in that
Fourscore.
instance that you're talking about though, it's like how many people are like that? Like, come on, in that time period,
Yeah,
sure,
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's a different time period. Like that's just like me saying, let me talk to somebody from 1910. Even me talking to somebody from 1910, it's like we're totally different. I'm saying shit like, damn, that's sus.
Okay.
And they're like, what the fuck does that mean?
So you're justifying
God.
you're justifying
Damn,
your
that
own
sucks.
answer. So who would you like? Literally tonight, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna go poof, and you're gonna be sitting at a bar having a beer.
With a president or anybody,
A president.
I would want to talk to Abraham Lincoln.
Okay. Even though it's gonna be you can't communicate and it's gonna be totally fucking weird.
No, we'd be able to communicate because I know more about that history than he does about what's going on now. That I'd be able to ask him the questions I think I need to ask.
What year was he president?
Oh, here we go. Check this out.
Okay, let's
Let's
come
go.
on,
Come on.
motherfucker. He
1860
was the
something.
16th president or something like that.
16th.
I don't fucking
No.
know.
But-
I don't know. Don't make me look stupid,
you know
bro.
way
Come
more about
on.
that time than yeah.
Come on, bro.
I'm going on.
Look,
that.
no,
As
I'm
soon as you
just-
said
look.
even if it was somebody from 1910, I realized you had no idea when Abraham Lincoln was president. You know it wasn't like the 60s, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Okay. But what I'm saying is, I don't know the exact year. I do know that he was president. I know that he.
It was
freaked-
before.
he was the president.
So it was Trump,
Abraham
Biden.
Lincoln.
Trump, Clinton, Lincoln. No.
Yeah, okay. Motherfucker, I know that's not what it was. I just
So who's the
look,
president when you were born?
when I was born, whoever was before Barack Obama?
Whoever was
Actually, who was before the person that was before Barack Obama?
Okay.
I was
So,
born in 2000.
yeah. Bad.
Dude,
bad.
come on. I was so
Wait,
young, bro. Like,
when
come
you were
on.
born?
Slide.
2000.
Slide. Who's the president
So
when you were born?
President Obama.
So who
was,
was president when 9/11 happened?
President Obama was put in 2008,
Who was president when
right?
9/11 happened?
When 9/11 happened? So that was in 2001. So the same president that was in 2000. I don't know.
Okay,
Wrong.
you don't know?
I really don't. Like, bro, no, look,
Okay.
don't
Who's
discredit me
president when you were
because
born? No,
I
I'm not
just
No, we're
discrediting.
not. We're not.
It's just a fucking
This is
fun
fun.
thing.
Okay.
This is
I had
fun.
to go back and think about it myself because I did it just like recently.
When
I
was-
don't know.
When I was born, Clinton.
Bush.
I had to think about that too. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I was.
look. When I was at the age,
Which
I didn't
Bush?
care about presidents.
Bush Senior when I was born.
Yes.
But Bush.
Look,
whenever-
Wait, hold on.
Junior
and
when I was
I'm not saying that
16.
history doesn't matter. I'm not saying
41 and 4. Yeah, there's
Okay.
2.
And I'm not saying that history doesn't
His
matter,
son
but
was
you got to
also
think at that
president.
point in time, like when I truly started caring about things was about when Barack Obama was getting
No, I get it, and
presidency.
that's my choice to have a beer with.
95.
Obama.
Is who?
Bush.
Obama?
Fuck yeah.
Really?
Well,
Why?
chill. Because you can chill. You can actually have a conversation. You don't have to try to translate between
I know.
4 scores and bullshit, and we can actually just chill. I'm not saying let's solve the world's problems or ask questions that
You know,
are
okay, but
questions
if we're
of
if we're
humanity.
talking
Have a beer.
if we're
I literally
talking
meant
if we're
have a
talking
beer.
all time though, like really having a beer with, it would be Trump for me.
See,
all
I don't
presidents.
think he'd drink a beer with you. One, he doesn't drink.
He doesn't drink.
2,
but what I'm
it'd be
saying
no
is
fun.
we're talking.
Hey there,
But
hey,
here's the thing:
I
is
mean,
we're really talking just like
I think you could chill with Obama.
by
Obama could pull up.
coincidence.
Obama
by-
could pull up right here and be part of this
Yeah.
debacle
Absolutely.
we're calling a fucking.
But I think
podcast.
Trump could too. And here's the
Obama,
thing.
we want-
Here's
we
the
want-
thing. Here's
He
the
would
thing.
roll up.
And
I
I
would love to have Obama.
I even feel
Yeah, I
like
love
even
that.
talking with Trump, even if he doesn't have a beer and I have a beer, I'm having a beer. Whether I'm not having one with him or without him, I'm having a beer and I'm just talking to him. I would just like to talk to him. I would like to talk to
Okay,
Obama as
same
well.
question. Musical
'Cause-
artist, living or dead.
Okay.
Musical artist.
Who would I want to have a beer with?
That was the question. Do you want me to say it again?
I would want to have one with Kurt Cobain.
Really?
I would want to
Waste of
know.
time.
I would want to know why. I would want to know like really. That's
Why-
getting deeper and stuff.
Why his
like-
wife killed him?
Okay, we're getting a little deeper here.
Is that why? No,
We're getting a little
I
deeper.
believe
Yeah.
that. There's a
I do-
why
I
there.
believe that actually.
There's
we're
a why
we're
there.
getting a little deeper here, but
Yeah.
I mean, my thing is when I want to talk to somebody, I want to talk about things that I don't know.
That's
I want
cool.
somebody to inform me of things that
So
I
that's
don't know.
anybody.
Not
Okay.
anybody,
Who?
but
Musical artist. I love you. I'm
Musical
playing.
artist.
Yes.
You should hit him.
Yeah, I'll take it.
he's a good guy. He's a good guy. I respect him.
I'm really not.
Musical artist.
Okay, piece of shit.
I know, right? Feel free, let loose. I've been married 28
I've been
years.
waiting for 2.5 hours to get to this.
I've been
Fuck.
married 28 years, longer than you've been born. Trust me, I know I'm a
Damn
piece of
right,
shit.
motherfucker. Damn right.
Musical
Go
artist,
ahead.
come back to you? Give you a second.
Yeah,
Musical artist,
yeah, do that.
living or dead. Have a beer with. Not fucking learn the lessons of life. Have a beer with.
Mhm.
All right, you got one yet?
I would
Jesus.
love to hang out with Post Malone.
Yeah, that's
See,
a good guy.
That's a good guy.
Yeah,
And he's interesting.
and he would have a beer with you.
And
A
why the
few
fuck
of
did
them.
you tattoo your face? How about you?
That that for sure. I think I hate to like
Now, go ahead.
stick on like Michael Jackson, but I
Okay.
think Michael Jackson is the person I would like to sit down and talk with.
And I don't think he'd
Like
have a
just-
beer either.
Me neither.
No. I
he
don't
he,
think
he
he
would
would
not
either.
drink a beer.
He'd have
for
your
sure.
nephew, but not your beer.
But I think when we're talking about have a beer, we're just talking about just sit down and have a
Absolutely.
fucking
Pick his
conversation
brain,
with.
fucking talk
Yeah.
shit. You know, what does this mean? You know, I mean,
Exactly.
honestly.
Well, you said
Yeah.
not to figure out like rules in life or wisdom.
That you can find out why he wrote this song.
Yeah,
Mm.
and Kurt Cobain wrote a song called "Me," so I want to know what the really like.
That was about me.
like
But
cut.
Let's talk about your time in prison.
oh yeah, prison's off limits. No, I mean, Post Malone, I could see, and I actually see Kurt Cobain. There's a lot of interesting questions because I would have questions from the time period, living that time period.
Mhm.
Because all right, pop quiz, most successful band out of Seattle. Anybody know?
You got me. You got me.
Do you know bands out of Seattle?
Nope.
Really? Nirvana, Soundgarden.
Okay, I
Alice
do.
in
I
Chains.
just don't. Alice in Chains,
Stone
yeah.
Temple Pilots.
Okay, okay, fucker.
No, I'm just
all
saying.
right, it's a couple artists I know. All right.
It's a topical question. I mean,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you don't know, then it's a dumb question.
Yeah.
But all those people came out within 4 years of each other.
Okay.
Okay?
In Seattle.
But the most successful Seattle band is Heart. They came out.
Heart.
The,
Okay.
Interesting.
the
Yeah.
duo that came out
I never knew
in
that.
77.
I should have my
I
dad
would've said
here.
Nirvana.
See, if my dad was here, he'd be saving my ass right
Yeah,
now.
but he would jump on Soundgarden or Nirvana like everybody else. Queens, right? They're out of Seattle.
Queens,
I mean,
okay.
Seattle at the time, 90 to 99, even like, holy Lord.
Mm.
That's Seattle. It's
Mm.
just where everybody flocked. And they're iconic bands. It's not like, oh, everybody came out of Seattle. It was like real bands.
Yeah.
But everybody forgets, like, Heart.
Mm.
Two sisters. Okay. Stupid, but true.
I have Heart in the
And-
playlist.
Yeah. They're amazing. You know, one's hot. But the, I mean, we're not going to go there. I'm not going to body shame anybody. And what's up? But they,
Motherfucker.
Fuck it. But no, I mean, Bob Dylan for me, since nobody bothered to ask, but he has so many out there lyrics.
Who'd you say?
Bob
Dylan?
Dylan? Yeah,
I was
just
gonna
lyricist. I mean, it's
Hmm.
okay. I'm just the guest. I'll
Bob
ask the
Dylan.
questions.
Who is Bob Dylan a part of? Is it a band?
Yeah, that's what it is.
I know the name.
Traveling Wilburys. No, Bob Dylan is like the iconic
Yeah.
60s crazy
You know, they're about to put
folk
out a
singer. He's got an album. He's got a movie out
Movie
now.
out.
I've heard his
called
name. I
I'm
just
Nobody.
want to go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who
I
was
just-
it? Tom.
It's
Timothy
crazy. I would
Chalamet?
like to see it.
Is that
Yep.
the guy who's playing? Yeah.
Timothy something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. But
Yeah,
it's called
for sure.
Nobody or Unknown or something. But
Mhm.
Bob Dylan is,
For his name for sure.
as a lyricist, is amazing.
Mhm.
He purposely sang like shit, so no, he would never go mainstream, and he was always making a statement politically or otherwise. And it's just he's a fuck up.
All
And it
of the
was
rock in the
awesome.
90s was
No,
political
1960s.
statements.
Yeah, dude.
I was gonna say though, I feel like rock in the 90s was pure political statements.
90s, really?
I feel like
Give me one.
Green Day and shit, all of their shit to me was like
No, that's all
fucking-
liberal. That's not political.
That's still
Mm-mm.
okay.
No, give me. I'm just asking.
I
Political
feel like
statement would be like Buffalo Springfield talking about going to Vietnam and killing the yellow man and
Okay,
this is wrong
okay,
and this
okay,
is right.
okay, okay,
Hey
okay.
people, what's that sound? What's the
Yeah.
name of the song? Help me out. Buffalo Springfield. Anyway,
Buffalo Springfield.
They-
I have one song by
what it's worth.
What it's worth. Yeah.
What it's worth.
Yeah.
And that's a political statement about
Okay.
how wrong Vietnam is.
Okay.
But Green Day talking about free healthcare is just entitlement,
Mhm.
not
Sure, but I still think it's political. I think okay,
But that's also
political.
the
no, it
sa-
is political, but
the
it's
same
not changing the world.
Okay, and I agree.
Changing-
But what I'm
changing
saying is,
people.
you asked about political,
Okay.
and I was just saying political.
Not arguing.
The same motherfuckers though that were looking at Buffalo Springfield going, "Oh wow, what a fucking hippie not wanting to go to war and fight for your country." When 20 years before
Guns
that,
N' Roses talking
were
about
the-
with what he just said. The whole song. They had a song called Civil War about the whole Civil War shit.
So
That was also written about a movie. It had nothing to do with the actual movement. That was a cover.
Okay, all right, old head, and fucking
Hey,
school
no,
me,
you're
school
getting into
me,
music,
bro.
bro.
No,
You're getting into
my-
music,
my-
and that's.
my-
I mean,
Look,
I
I love
met his
music.
mom playing drums.
And I'm
My
not gonna
point
act
is-
like I'm the most educated person at this table. Like I listen
Percussionist.
to a lot of music, and
not percussionist.
go ahead, go ahead.
No, you're right.
No, I was just saying.
putting
I was
things
just
up.
saying that I'm a huge music head, obviously, and I'm
Yeah.
just like so.
Civil War was actually the quote in the middle, talking about some people you just can't. Anyway, it's Paul Newman from a movie called Cool Hand Luke. So it's not.
So you're
anything.
educating me right now because I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Because
it's
you're,
100%.
like from my perspective,
Some people you just can't.
see, but just to put into your perspective, my perspective is I wasn't alive when this music was even coming
Well,
out.
see, that's why I love Bob
And
Dylan
so-
because I wasn't
so-
alive and
Right,
I love
and
it.
so when I listen to this stuff, I'm just like, my dad isn't telling me about it. And my dad's a huge Guns N' Roses fan,
Hell yeah.
and I listen to
I
their
skip
stuff.
a whole week at school.
And I'll go looking
see
into their
appetite.
music and get into more music that he hasn't shown me. Like, of course, you know the mainstream Guns N' Roses, but then I go look at Civil War. That's not really like a mainstream.
No,
Guns N'
that's off
Roses
Use
song
Your
to me.
Illusion 2, which was the blue album of the
Which
Red,
is
where everything
exactly,
else came out November
and I
Rain,
feel like
everybody else,
it's
right?
not more listened to because it's not the most fun music.
Mhm.
It's more like they're talking in the music.
Yeah, and it's based on a movie.
okay.
which
So
is-
see, and I didn't know that.
Right.
Okay.
The I'm trying to think what like Buffalo Springfield, not live. Listen to it, it's amazing. Even Bob Dylan, seen him. He actually took him to see him. So our whole family, 3 generations, have seen him. And
Who's the motherfucker with the Eric? Is it Eric Clapton
Eric
with
Clapton.
Imagine or whatever? He's like, imagine there's a world.
That's
no.
John Lennon.
Yeah, John
John Lennon?
That's
Was
the
it John
Beatles.
Lennon?
Yeah, he's part of the
Okay,
Beatles.
okay.
He's part of the
For
Beatles.
sure.
He's the one that got shot because nobody wanted to accept that Jodie Foster was gay, and this guy was trying to get her attention, so he shot John Lennon. So thanks for being.
Thank you for the education.
Yeah, yeah. That's.
I hope
John
it's
Lennon.
right. I'm gonna Google it after this.
100%. 100%.
But also, my point was too, though, is like, okay, political statements are not well taken by the people who are living in the political statements most of the time.
What do you mean by that?
The people who
Elaborate.
disagree with the political statement,
Yeah.
right?
At that time.
If it's happening,
Mhm.
right, and that directly affects them, things like free healthcare, right? I'm gonna say, fuck that. That's stupid. I'm not even gonna listen to that bullshit, right? Same people were saying the same
But you're
thing
still
about
on your
Buffalo
mom's
Experience.
healthcare.
People, okay, listen, but I pay it though.
No, you don't.
I pay in for people to have free healthcare. I pay my taxes.
You pay taxes,
I pay a shit ton of taxes.
but you don't have. Anyway, go ahead.
I have 1 year until I do. Yeah, I can't help the age
1 year
of
from
where I'm
now,
at right now.
1 year from now, your deductibles are going to.
That's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is that if a political statement is being made about something you disagree with in the generation that it's being made at, most people are not going to fuck with that style of music.
Right.
That's historical.
Not true.
That's just
because
historical.
Neil
Not true.
Young, I agree with everything he ever wrote about, but everybody will sing Southern Man and all those songs that he wrote, and it wasn't on the side that I was on. All the anti-Vietnam music, which was plentiful and amazing,
Mhm.
I listened to, but it put me in that point in time, being prior military, I wouldn't agree with what they're saying.
Mhm.
You had the baby killer bullshit. These guys were going over doing what they fucking want to do. Your grandfather
Mhm.
went over and, yeah, he killed a lot of people.
Mhm.
But he was told to do it. And at that point, when it's me and you, it's between me and you.
Mm.
I just know you're going to spill your fucking Dos Equis and I'm going to get away down the tunnel. But the point is, you can't judge people or the music. So I understand what you're saying, but it doesn't mean there's a lot of songs that, all right, Alive with the Glory of Love. Say anything.
Mhm.
Love the song?
Mhm.
Do you agree with the Holocaust? Okay, there you go.
I just want to say real quick.
Right.
Also, I think it's beautiful this connection that y'all have.
We just met.
Fuck this guy.
No, but it really reminds me a lot of me and my father. I
Really?
see a lot of similarities because
Because
My
we're
dad-
father and son.
that part,
But the
also,
relationship.
but also
Don't
the
be a
relationship.
dick.
I'm sorry.
Like,
bro.
yeah, don't be a
I've
fucking dick.
had a few drinks. I'm sorry.
But also, yeah, you're
would
like
you-
me. You're like me on my fifth fucking cup of Crown. Yeah.
With no ice.
But no, seriously, like I look at that, I'm like, me and my
That's what
dad.
happened.
My dad is very obviously he's older, so he's kind of more
How old's
stuck.
your dad?
He's 59.
See, he's older than me.
So he's more stuck in his ways. You know, the older you get, I feel like the more stuck in your ways you are. You get accustomed to patterns. You get
Okay.
accustomed to.
I love that you brought that statement.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Oh, I love
it. Look, bring it in.
Remember-
Hold on to it.
Oh, God.
But I just
About
wanted
to
to say
eat that
real
meat
quick,
stick over there.
based off of that, like that reminds me a lot of, like, I bring a lot of new ideas to my dad. That my dad sometimes is like, "You're fucking wrong.
Can't
You're
accept.
wrong." He's
Can't
just like,
accept.
"You're fucking wrong."
100%.
But he'll say that in the moment, and then later he's like, "Son, you know what you were saying about this? I get it. I
My
understand. I understand." You know, he kind of just comes around to it and shit. And it's so beautiful that we're so alike, so different in the same way. We're so different because I'm in a different generation than
Right.
he is. But I can bring things to him and just be like, Dad, this is what I see. You know, and he sees, and I know that he sees this a certain way. And I'm just like, Dad, this is how I see it. Boom, boom, boom. And he's like, motherfucker, you're wrong. And then later he's just like, okay. You know,
So
I kinda
going
get
back
it.
to what you just said, stuck in your ways, and I'm getting to this dumbass's tattoo, but they stuck in your ways just popped in my head the other day because someone said it. It wasn't towards me, otherwise I'd fucking defend myself and get offended. But I was like, oh, is anybody really stuck in our ways? I mean, the way in the last 20 years, your guys' lifetime, how much technology has changed. No
Mhm.
one can really be stuck in their ways.
I disagree. I disagree. But go ahead. Keep going. Keep going.
Ideology and ways are
Right.
two different things. Stuck in the way that you live. 20 years ago, I wouldn't turn around because I left a cell phone at the house. Now I'm 15 miles away. I turn around and go back and get my fucking phone.
Yeah, but you know that's not.
So what you're saying is
no,
more.
but we're talking about stuck in your
So-
ways.
so what are you
if I
saying?
don't believe in
So-
cell phones, then they're a trend. They're going to disappear.
Okay, but so what you're saying is stuck in your beliefs?
No,
as opposed
you're
to stuck in
saying
your ways?
beliefs.
No,
I'm
I'm
saying
asking you.
ways.
I'm asking a question right now.
No, it's not beliefs. That's a matter.
But what
of
I'm saying is
convenience.
because why do people stay stuck in your ways? I
Stuck
say
in your ways.
okay,
is
but look,
I get
let
up,
me-
I go to work every day. I drive the same truck. I stop at the same
Okay,
gas station.
okay.
I get the same cup of
I got
coffee,
you.
and I do the same 8
I got
hours.
you.
and I
Okay,
come
but
home.
let me elaborate on that because I say my father is stuck in his ways because he believes certain things that I feel like New Age.
Stuck in his
ideas.
beliefs.
Stuck in,
Stuck in
That's
his
ideology.
beliefs.
That's ideology.
Okay, but what I'm saying
in
is,
beliefs,
however
yeah.
you look at it, stuck in your ways. I'm not saying stuck in your ways is in what you're saying, going to the gas station, boom. I'm saying stuck in your ways is in maybe I need to reword it. Okay, so stuck in your beliefs is like my dad has certain beliefs, and I'm just like, Dad, I'm a younger you basically, and I agree with you
I'm
on
gay.
most
You need to
things.
get over that.
No,
Wait. But I agree with him on most things. But sometimes I'm like, Dad, I look at this from a different perspective, and he has a hard time understanding my perspective
Okay.
because he's so used to stuck in the
Okay.
beliefs that he
so
has.
he won't change his thought.
So stuck in your beliefs, if
Okay.
you want to call it that.
Well, that's fine. I'm not going to get into semantics.
Okay.
But I'm saying,
You
so
are.
no, I'm not.
you are.
So,
Man, you're really stuck in your beliefs. Right?
was about to,
if
for sure.
either of you two can tell me what semantics means, I'll be impressed. My point is,
I could.
okay, could you? Let's go.
Semantics, like the deep down, like semantics of things.
Deep
like,
down semantics and things. You
Like-
just
like
use
you're
the
talking about the
de-
semantics,
you use
you're
the
talking
word
about-
in
you're
the
talking about-
definition.
Don't.
No, hold up. You use the word in the definition.
Okay, sure, but I'm just saying, like, you're getting into the more like obscure things. Like, we're just talking about what you're talking about right now.
Semantics is the trivial details like grammar.
Okay,
and
give me
a
the
future
fucking
statement.
grammar to it.
I'm just telling you.
Okay.
That's what it is.
I
I'm
agree.
not going to get caught up in the semantics. You said belief in my not.
And the
It's
semantics.
autistic. Just give
I'm just
let him-
using-
Let him get through.
I'm really just using context clues right now. I don't know the actual definition to semantics,
Okay, yeah,
but I
semantics
know that
is-
semantics.
I'm not
is-
going to get
I'm
off
not,
in the semantics, so I'm not going to lose.
I'm going to stay on this track
I'm
that
not
I'm
going
on
to
right
lose
now.
the total
Value
meat
of
of
things.
this conversation
Okay,
over
yes.
whether I use them, there, or there.
Okay, beautiful.
That's semantics.
Yeah.
But my point was gone.
But you did attack him for semantics.
No, I attacked him because I didn't attack him.
You didn't attack me.
No, I did not.
You asshole.
Thank you. I love
So
it.
no, my point is that some people can't get beyond something. So if you were taught, let's use race. It's
Yeah,
hot
sure,
button.
sure.
If you're taught that racism is okay,
Yeah,
then you can't talk somebody out of their ways.
exactly.
That's what I was getting at. With you
Okay.
can't change your ways. Yes, you can.
You
And
can,
we
yeah.
go into the address,
But
book
that
and
comes
it's
to the
fucked up.
individual.
But
That
I'm
comes to
saying-
the individual.
It's not.
No, I'm not. But it's fucking hysterical. I'll tell you off air. You will laugh your ass off. Sly's totally checked out on this. He's looking at his
Yeah.
fingers. He's like, damn, I
Yeah.
gotta trim these now.
No, I got a cut on my finger. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Anyways.
Keep going.
Cut some limes.
Yeah.
Fucking.
So
Anyways.
no, but when you get down to when you start trying to change people's state of mind or their thinking, some people are just lost. You're not going to change it.
Mm.
But being Gen X, like your dad's on the verge of, I mean, he's on the outer edge of Gen X,
Yeah.
59. But being Gen X, where
He's
you,
almost baby boomer.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a
Yeah.
weird thing that they didn't identify anything between baby boomer and Gen X, which is fucked up. But when you're a latchkey kid left alone and basically allowed to run around raised feral,
Mm.
and then you're thrown into adulthood with children, you don't have anything to base that on, which sometimes is better because in the 50s people were beating their wives. I didn't beat my wife.
Mm.
Actually, she whooped my ass a couple times. I deserved it though. But the point is that you can't break down generations by generations, I guess. So stuck in your ways is stuck in your ways.
Yeah.
Stuck in, I think this all started off with a musical question. Where the
Yeah,
fuck
yeah,
are we?
no. Look, no, because I'm following you, and I'm totally like I don't even think everything's off of generation. I think it's based off of what you've seen. Like, there's no generation.
Experience. It's
Yeah,
life
experience.
experience.
And I don't
So-
think a specific generation. I get it. Like, you're born in this generation, you've seen this.
So,
happen. But what I'm saying is, there's such a minute, like, people are born every day. So it's like, I mean, this whole generation shit pissing me off anyway, because it's like, oh, you were born the next day, you're a millennial.
well, no,
And
I
it's
get
like-
that. I don't buy into that. It's just what I've been dubbed with by his sister. But the problem you get into is sometimes you're better off, and that's what people are missing. So the single mom bullshit. Oh, I was raised by a single mom. Maybe you're better that your dad left. Has
Yeah.
anybody ever thought that?
Absolutely.
Do we
Right,
ever speak
right.
of that? Maybe
No,
you're better
but,
off
but,
not
but
having
people
that
have thought
asshole
that
in
because
your
that's
life.
that's just like a lot of people that are successful that didn't have a dad, didn't
Well,
have
and
a mom.
that's a huge reason why, like, when because I actually made that point to Lizzie, because I was like, oh yeah, if we're trying to, and I was proven wrong. This is a situation I was proven wrong. I was like,
One of many.
yeah, true. You know, I can admit when I'm wrong. I was like, oh well, if being a single mom is so bad, why do we not have programs to help that? And she was like, same thing. She was like, well, maybe it's just harder for one parent, and they don't want that dad to be involved with the life of that kid. Like, that's not a good person.
Like, if you want to be a dick, honestly, it's probably harder to be a single dad.
Yeah.
We just don't hear about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, all right, whatever. I was lucky enough to stick with lucky.
Well,
But we worked at it and stayed together, and
Yeah.
28 years later, we have 2 children, one successful, and then, Cam. But it's one...
One that's trying to do a podcast.
A weak ass podcast. What the fuck is this shit?
Are we killing this shit? Should we just...
No, dude. Hey, we're great. Hey, but look, if y'all are,
If this is going long, I
No,
didn't mean to, like,
no,
start
it is going long, but our last episode was 2.5 hours. I mean, most of our episodes are like an hour. We're definitely past an hour.
I'm sorry.
We're looking at 2 hours, but I'm totally fine with it because
with
to
the
me,
content, you'll edit it down
the
to 10
content,
minutes.
no, but to me, the content is what matters. I don't care how long we go, as long as the content's good. And I feel like the content has been great.
It's been really good, yeah.
In this
Okay.
episode,
So
this
my-
is shit that I would watch. on my own.
My thing is too though, is like, I feel like this is a good. He never raised me to be the toxic male,
Mhm.
right? That you're not allowed to not cry. You're not allowed to, like. He always was like, yo, feel your emotions and then process them, right? Or at least I felt that way.
Yeah,
that's
fail,
the way that you
fail and learn.
fail, learn,
Move
go
on.
through that, move on,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And that was always for me. I don't know if it was just because of the way I was raised. I don't know if it's because I was born that way, but for me, that is always how I've had to process things.
All right, what's the
I've-
biggest time, the largest in your mind that I jumped your shit during I don't know, athletics?
I quit when I had noticeably. I went out. We talked about a goal prior to. It was the
Regionals.
Brinson thing.
Mhm.
Yep. So the biggest time that he ever got mad at me, and genuinely mad at me,
Mhm.
not I fucked up, because again, like, going back to those things where if I fucked up, he never really was that mad. He would be like, hey, you fucked up.
What are you gonna do
Process
next time?
it. Yeah, what are you gonna do? This was the first time that he genuinely got mad at me over a sport, right? Something that,
I was a baseball dad.
yeah, may not seem as, but the whole reason was I had resided in not going out and executing my full potential. That was it.
That's
It's,
not why you got in trouble.
I was quitting, and then
not why
Hold
you
on.
got in trouble.
I know, I'm getting there. I went out, and not only did I not execute what I should have done, that I knew, like, I totally sold myself short on purpose.
Yeah.
But then as soon as I got done with it and purposefully sold myself short, then I turned myself into the victim and said, I'm not going to congratulate my team, even though they did well. I want to stew in me being a fuck up, and I chose to be a fuck up. And that was not acceptable.
And here's how it
Yes.
went down.
Yeah.
I told him not to run with a dude, that you're better than him. Don't feel comfortable. Get out of your comfort level. Go do what you do.
Mhm.
And at the 2nd mile mark, he was with old dude.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you fucking idiot. So I was done at the 2nd mile.
Yeah.
3rd mile, he finishes, and then he wants to throw a fit because he finished where he finished.
Mhm.
And he threw a fit visibly.
Mm.
I drug his ass by the fucking 13-year-old, 14-year-old ear that he is at the time. I threw him in the truck. And it's the only time I've really relentlessly unleashed on him. I said, 4 people on your team fucking PR'd today.
Mhm.
Your team won regionals. You moved on. And you're pouting about some shit that you did that I told you not to do.
It was the
Mhm.
first time that I didn't teach myself the lesson.
Mm-hmm. And I had to
It
tell
was-
him. I said, "You're
it was a
gonna get
lesson
out
that
of
had to
here.
be taught.
You get out of here and go be a teammate and go home and cry about it afterwards, or we leave right now and you're off this team."
Yeah.
That was a
Absolutely.
lesson.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. I was embarrassed. I don't give a fuck where he finishes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm going to support you no matter what. You're my kid.
The lesson came
Absolutely.
from you purposely chose to be a victim,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
then
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
acting like a victim.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't, and that's a bigger lesson than really what I even got
You
from
can,
that
you can have
day,
4
but-
hours on that.
Yeah,
Just
like
You get
creating
along
your own
well with my
environment.
dad.
Huh?
You'd get along
well, I
well
can't
with
wait
my
for
dad.
Father's Day.
yeah,
And there's a good closing if you guys want to show this.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
I mean, seriously, I think if you guys do what we were talking about doing, that would be a blast.
I think so too.
I think so too.
I
I think, but I would love for all 6 of us to be on.
yeah.
I honestly, I play
I
with
think we
the,
should do that before the Father's Day, and then the Father's Day
I-
episode be a special.
I play with
Yeah,
the
that'd be
idea of just the dads, but I'm kind of like, I
It's
feel
gonna
like
go,
it's
gonna
even,
go
I've-
way right.
I feel like it's even better if we just have
Yeah,
all 6
yeah.
of us.
Bruh, I can barely start
the 3
and stop
youngers,
these things.
the 3 youngers and the 3 olders. I feel like
Yeah.
that's what we need. I
That
feel
would
like
be
we
a
should
blast.
That'd
If
be
we didn't
so
already
much
let
fun.
it out of the bag, we should all mix up and act like we're.
No, this is awesome, and honestly, like this has gone
I
exactly how.
really wish Cam
this
had a
is-
black dad because that would be
this-
so good. They're like, "Oh, it's his dad." No.
This is exactly how I figured this would go.
Okay.
Yeah, bro.
and-
Like,
it went.
This only secures me more in getting my dad on board with doing something
Cool.
like this.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
I feel like you're nervous about getting your dad on.
I'm not, dude. Honestly,
That's
and here's I'm glad you said that because the big thing about my dad is that no matter how successful he's been in certain points of his life, I look up to my dad as like I want to be like you, or I want to be like you because I see how confident you are in who you are, whether you're wrong or not, right? And no, but
No, I get it.
I see what you're saying,
100%
but
get it.
to me, it's like even if he's wrong, it's like he's just so. I'm confident who I am, and I'm gonna speak on bullshit when I feel it's bullshit. I'm gonna speak on shit when I think it's
Well,
right.
that's good.
And that's why I've always respected my dad is because I look up to him. Like sometimes I'm like, hold your tongue, stop talking, and my dad like is like, no, fuck that. You're fucking being slow. You're doing, you know what I'm saying? And he stands on business.
All right.
And
so is he a
sometimes,
dick.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
So that's where you hold back.
That's where I hold back.
So you
It's
have the
because-
social graces to know.
and that's why, and I'm glad you said that, because that's when my dad, I used to work for him. So my dad runs a deli here in Shreveport.
Okay.
And I used to work for him, and I would talk to the customers and things like that. And he'd look at me and he'd say, son, you know, one thing that I'm really proud about you, you and your sister about is that you have really good social skills. You can talk to people who are completely different from you and not bring up things you shouldn't,
And that-
not be a dick,
And that's
you
a
know.
compliment.
And
That is
really
that's a
just
huge
you
compliment.
really understand how to talk to other people no matter how much they differ from you. And that's been a big thing. I always and I obviously remember that wholeheartedly, my dad telling me that, because I really respected that. But I still look at him and I'm just like, you know, you look up to me in certain aspects, even though I'm younger than you by fucking 3 times your age.
Yeah.
But also I look up to you because it's like sometimes I think I need to put my balls in the court. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, you stand on business
You're
and
like,
you're just
did I-
like, no, fuck you.
Did I
You're
pull
trying to
back?
yeah, and,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and he's just like, no, look, this person's trying to fuck me over, and I'm gonna make sure they know that I'm not the person to fuck
But
over.
that conversation was your I used to smoke weed moment.
Mhm.
That's what stuck
Exactly.
with you as a
Mhm.
dad. I don't know what his I used to smoke weed moment was. I don't know when he actually thought, okay, the old man's all right.
Yeah.
I don't know
yeah,
when that
yeah,
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something that I would
I respect
love to get
this
out
asshole.
at some point. Yeah, at some point, it's like, you know what? He's not full of shit.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
or even better, this motherfucker is full of
Full of
shit.
shit.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Once
Yeah.
you realize it, that's the beauty of it. And it's like the thing, like we can get into this whole thing, but I was raised by a narcissist, and he doesn't want you to succeed in anything.
Mhm.
So as soon as you become better in something, anything, you stop doing that thing.
Yeah,
That's how I was raised.
Mm.
I want them to be better than me in everything.
yeah,
Everything.
absolutely,
Sure.
You know, and
Yeah.
that's what a parent is.
exactly.
And so
yeah.
by your dad giving you that compliment
Mm.
has not only stuck with you, it's made you what you are. And
So-
it's given you the confidence to move on, knowing that you can do a podcast with a black dude and a fucking ginger. And, you know, honestly, I'm being funny, but I'm not. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah.
You know, it gave you that self-confidence
Yeah.
to do and go forward because you knew that the one man that's critical of everybody approved of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's all you
Absolutely.
need. And
Yeah.
that's the little things, we'll go back to fucking 3 hours ago, that makes you a parent.
Absolutely.
You can't teach it. There's no book for it. This some bitch came home with a "How does your body change?" fucking pamphlet. We never knew the school was
Yeah.
giving this out, and I got a
And
barrage of questions.
I'm so glad you said that, because even back on the whole thing that we said, like, that's the thing that I'm scared of having a kid, is because am I ready to teach somebody how to be a man?
No, you're not.
Am I ready to?
No, I'm kidding.
All right.
I'm serious. Seriously,
I
yes,
got
you are.
some good things.
You
but,
learn.
but I think
But
that
you learn.
but I think that there's some things that I'll even say with you. I'm sure there's some things,
Oh, I
maybe
fucked
a
up.
lot of things,
I fucked up royally.
where but I'm talking about where you're at right now, that your wisdom and you'd be smarter to tell a young
I
adolescent.
think we can both all agree that there's been so many moments that I can recall. I can tell you probably 6 right off the bat
Mhm.
of moments where I was like, one, I'm remembering back to now as being life lessons for myself, right? But then a few of them we even talked about now. Like, I mean, some of the things of being like being able to just treat me like a person,
Yeah.
you know, to say, you know,
I think that's key.
and then another one, I mean, I just said today, and this is why, and there's so many, right? There's so many. But one of the things was like the lessons of money. When you instilled in me immediately where you were like, hey, look, you work your ass off for $1 and $100 is not below you, but I'm going to spend $20,000 to make sure that we have memories that we enjoy together. The value of money to me, where you were like, you valued it to a point to where you're going to work yourself, you're going to work for it, right?
Mhm.
And that's what you should do as a man.
Mhm.
But then also say, look, money's not everything.
Right.
Money is also
Knowing the
the
difference.
reason you work your ass off
Yeah.
is to be able to do these things, and it's for your family. There's
Right.
been these things that I've
And-
learned over
and-
the years from you that have been like, they're daily
And just knowing where to draw that
foundational things for me.
line. Yeah, and knowing where to draw that line. Like
And
I
as
feel
soon
like
as you have a child, there is no line. That's the great part.
Mm.
If you have it, you give it. If you can get it, you get it, and you give it.
that's
Yeah.
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 I remember.
That's the selflessness
I
that
remember-
no one ever can instill in somebody
Yeah.
before they become a parent. Until that thing that you've never laid eyes on before just pops out of your wife or girlfriend, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
You know,
You're responsible for
You
that.
know, one thing that my dad told me that I didn't understand as a kid to a full extent was that I remember when my father went from making 6 figures a year and we had a comfortable life, and I remember when everything fell through. He lost his job. Him and my mother lost their jobs within
08?
within 2 weeks of each other.
Oh wait.
No, we're looking at probably 13.
Okay.
We're looking at 12, 13.
Okay.
around
I
there.
thought it was the crack.
It's close to that point though. But my dad told me though, no matter what, I know I've given you and your sister all these toys and everything through our lives and stuff. We've had the RV, the pool, whatever the shit that we had, this little whatever, just fun shit. But I remember him telling me like, no matter what, at the end of the day, as long as we have this fucking family, at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Mhm.
That's all that matters. And as a kid, I'm stupid or ignorant, and I'm still sitting there like, well, yeah, but fuck, we don't have somewhere to live. We don't have the game systems and shit like that. But now that I'm
Yeah.
older, I really look back at it. I'm just like, my dad is one of the realest motherfuckers I know,
That's
because
awesome.
no matter how much he made at a certain point in his life, and no matter how much he makes now, if it's half of that, if it's a fraction of that, he always just said, as long as we fucking have each other, as long as that's all that we're good.
That's all that
You know,
matters.
it doesn't.
Right.
And my dad made good money at a certain point of his life. He made a really good amount of money where he could make everything we wanted for Christmas happen. He could make things that we didn't even wish for happen.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this motherfucker's Santa. You know, he's crazy. He makes these things happen, and
Not to get totally weird with it, but he's your hero.
he's my hero. Absolutely,
100%.
Absolutely,
I mean,
because he's the
100%.
one
You're
who
my
taught.
hero.
Absolutely.
I swear to God.
No, really.
I don't.
Really,
I mean, I'm not kidding.
really, no, and I believe
I'll
you.
stand on that.
I believe you when you say that because even me and my dad have a similar relationship as y'all. We're comedic and we make fun of each other, and I call him a fucking bitch, and he calls me a bitch back. But at the end of the day, he knows that when we make those jokes, at the end of the day, I still respect him with my whole heart.
Yeah.
And I even told him, you know, no matter how much you lost from certain things that happened in your life, no matter how much boom, boom, you taught me how to be a man and you taught me how to work for the things that I want, but also know that no matter how much you have, the people around you are what really fucking matters at the end of the day.
And honestly,
Wonderful
as
said.
amazing as that is, the main thing out of that I think, and this may be trivialized, but a father can hand down to a son, especially, is a work ethic.
Right.
And you got that work ethic.
That's like that joke that I seen on Instagram that said, "Will my parents pass down work ethic rather than generational wealth?" I'm fucking mad as shit. Like, God damn it!
But do you know that that's?
I know how to work my ass off.
Do you know it's worth more?
Worth more.
It is worth more.
It is worth
It
more.
makes you
Yeah.
a person, and it gives you purpose.
Absolutely,
Generational wealth, and you see it every day where you are employed, and I see it where I do on the side. And these sons of bitches, as the generation gets older and the kids take over, they never work for a day in their life.
And I'll say, I
and
think
to brag on Sly's
Go ahead.
dad after never meeting him in person, and not to put your business out.
I
Sly
love
got
you,
both.
son.
Sly got both.
Yeah.
And Sly does not have to work for his money if he didn't want to, and he
I
does.
don't. Yeah.
And,
because the dad taught him that.
Yep, and that's impressive as fuck.
I need to know that story.
Honestly, I work as much as I do now solely because of my dad. Because he worked so much. He was so absent in certain parts of my life.
Yeah.
Simply because he was working.
Yeah.
He owns a business and all that, but like y'all said earlier, he's my hero. My hero. Like your dad is your hero. He's your hero. My dad is my hero. Simply because of what he was willing to sacrifice to make sure that we were taken care of.
And that's his dad's job.
And I want
that's
to
what's amazing.
kind of ask something on that because that was relatable with my dad, and sometimes I would just look and I'd be like, I remember being angry as a kid because my dad didn't want to play catch with me or didn't want to do certain things, and getting a little personal, but there were certain things where I was like, damn, my dad doesn't want to, he's worked all day, he doesn't want to play catch with me or things like that, and I'm like, but now that I'm older, it's like I understand.
Yeah.
Because now that I'm older, I realize how high fucking prices are, and I realize how much it costs to rent a home, how much it costs to pay the bills, and all these things. Yeah. And I look at it, and I'm just like, I get why he was gone so much. I get why my father at one point moved to Peoria, Illinois. Peoria, Illinois, to work with somebody that he had known for a long time that promised him prosperity, just promised him like a good life at some point, and it never happened. But besides the point, 2 years went by, and my dad's living in Chicago, and I'm not getting to see him and stuff. And there was a lot of those times where I'm just like, damn, like I didn't understand as a kid why he was gone so much. I didn't understand. I'm just like, fuck this. Like, why doesn't he just come home? Like, and
How old were you?
Around that, I just know that it was around the time I hit puberty, because I know that there was certain.
Last year?
There were certain. He knows how to make a soft story funny. He does, doesn't he? No, but there was the pivotal points in my life where it was like, I wish my dad was here to just tell me how do I shave my balls. Like, that's a real thing. I was like, how do I shave my balls? I was at that point in my life, and
I'm gonna let that one go. But the timing is everything. Okay, you hear that all the time.
Yeah.
I was gone for 3 years, but he was 1 to 3. As long as Dad came home every 2 weeks with a pennant, wooden baseball bat from wherever the hell Dad had been, he's fine with it. Puberty's the wrong time, and that's why I started doing what I started doing, because I'm sitting there saying like it was a conscious choice. It was, but it wasn't. I didn't realize the impact it was going to have, but I made the choice based off, do I really need to be gone while he's in high school?
Well, the big thing, I just want to say real quick, because the big thing that my dad was gone around that time was because he lost, I told you he was making 6 figures with a company.
And you got to take opportunity when you can get it.
And at a certain point, he lost that job due to moral circumstances. Long story short, they wanted him to do things that he felt like were immoral and were gonna fuck other people over. That he was like, "Fuck y'all.
Yeah.
You're either gonna fire me or you're gonna keep me on board, and
Right.
I'm not gonna do this bullshit you're telling me."
Right.
Long story short, got fired, and he had to move away at a pivotal time in my life, but
It was a necessity.
necessity.
It wasn't
because
greed.
if he didn't do that,
It wasn't greed.
if he didn't do that, we would have lost our everything.
Yeah,
at
I
that point in time.
was able, and your mom and I had this conversation this morning, that when the shit hit the fan, I was able to go, and I'm blessed because of it, and I'm not, this isn't a flex, but I was able to go, you know what? Fuck the 6-figure job. Let it go to Fort Wayne, let it go to Detroit, and throw everything up in the air and go, I know how to do all this shit, but I did. And I was like, okay, we're good. Let them go. I'm unemployed. I'll figure some shit out.
figure
And
it
I
out.
went out there and I hustled.
Yeah.
And because I do have a long list of talents and skill sets that I can put
Pull to
forth
the yeah.
to make money.
Yeah.
You know, this mouth is fucking
Yeah.
amazing. But, you know.
All right, this has been the On Game Show.
Oh.
We enjoyed having everybody.
Yeah, no, but I mean, seriously, I could remodel houses, I could build cabinets, I could do shit
Yeah.
for people. And I went out there and I hustled. I did it.
Mm.
That's how I got into bartending because I'm not from here. I don't know your dad. I didn't go to school with your brother. I'm from Tampa, Florida.
A huge thing that scared me was I was scared that I'm a strong believer in the good times create weak men.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I believe the same.
You know, I was terrified of that because I never had to learn the skills that my dad did in order to.
Oh, you did. You
Yeah.
just quit.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
bitch threw a damn. Last time I seen him working with me, a white paintbrush went flying across a yard, and he goes, "I don't give a fuck. I'm never painting another thing white my life." And he left. Never saw him again.
So,
But he has skills.
the skill sets that he has versus what I have, you know, and there's a respect there of like holy shit, there's no way I could do everything that he does, you know, because I never had to learn that out of necessity, right?
That's a big one.
Yeah. It scares me.
Yeah.
It does because I'm like I have tried to be, you know. I've tried to live up to be the man that I see you as, you know, and I know it's not the same skill sets that you've learned. You know what I mean? I know that.
Okay,
And-
you're selling yourself way short. And this isn't me being a dad. I will give you an absolute 100% honest example of where you have learned more than you ever thought you learned. Today, before we were coming here, when he was late and he was later.
I was late.
Calm
he was
down.
later.
So anyway, you explained to me that you had a dryer issue that showed airflow. He tore the thing apart. He had the tool, ran it up, cleaned it out, fixed the problem. Anybody else? Not saying anybody at this table, but anybody else in general, in the general
Population.
25-year-old population of people
Yeah.
that own a home, which is very small.
Very
Another
small.
issue
Yeah.
that
very
you couldn't be prouder of.
Yeah.
I mean, he bought a house at 20.
Yeah.
Really?
No, I was really impressed when he told me that he owns that house.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
very proud.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the fact that you weren't on the phone, Dad, AF, what does it mean? As fuck? No, it means airflow, dumbass. You know, that you figured it out, you tore it apart, you fixed it. And then you went back and checked on it. That happened this afternoon. I'm like,
That is
You got it.
that is a huge thing, and
Seriously.
I think with simplicity that comes with as years pass, because I feel the same way. My dad used to tear apart his dirt bike when he was young, so he had a dirt bike. He got me a dirt bike at a certain age as well,
2-stroke?
but I don't even know what the fuck
Okay,
that
don't worry
means.
about it. Okay,
but I think.
Proving his
Sorry.
own point.
I was trying to give you props and build you up like 2-stroke, motherfucker. You're like, I don't know what that means. I rode it. It
No,
was
no,
better.
seriously, but like this was a mini dirt bike, so it was like I was at such a young age, I didn't know how this thing ran.
Right.
I just knew I had to put gas in it to make it run.
Right.
That's the bare minimum I knew.
Do you have to put
He-
base gas or
but-
Don't
Stop it,
believe
motherfucker.
It's a true statement. but
Unleaded
okay.
unleaded gas from the gas station is all I fucking
Okay,
knew.
so it's
bro.
a
Four-stroke.
so it's 4-stroke.
Okay.
For
Alright. Anyways, so my dad always knew how to build things, how to fix things, automobiles. He knew how to work on. I remember I was the flashlight kid. I was the one who held the flashlight while he's working on his 2003 Saturn. That I don't know how this thing runs. I just know
Wow,
that
you're just bashing your dad. Right
there's
now.
just things that make it work. No, he was smart as fuck.
2003 Saturn.
No. But there's a deeper story to that,
I hope
and
so.
that was at a part where he lost his job and everything went falling for us, and he had to get a cash car.
asshole.
He had to
No,
get a
I'm
cash
the
car. I'm making you feel like a dick because I was just like, you know what? Fuck you.
I could never drive a Saturn. That makes him more successful than me. I always had to have a truck. I never knew what I was
So
doing. Mow
no,
lawn
but so
or
look,
fuck fat
so
chicks.
look, my dad was the same way. He
No,
always
that's what the
drove.
Saturn
He always drove trucks.
That's what-
He always drove trucks, but I knew he was going through it when he got a Saturn.
Okay.
And it was a cash car, and he had to work on it every weekend because there was something wrong with it. And I was the flashlight kid, holding the
Okay.
flashlight and shit. And I just used to look at him like, it's crazy that you know how to work on this and how to identify where the problem's at. But this dirt bike's the same. If I had a problem with my dirt bike, he knew, okay, cool, let's check this.
Yeah.
You know, he always knew how to do things, and even with our fucking
Lawnmower?
AC
Okay.
lawnmower, yes, and our AC in the house and stuff. He just knew how to work on these things and make little problems, even if he had to rig it up. He made
You know what
shit.
I'm gonna tell you? What he's about to say? Because you had to.
Because he had
Because he had
Yes,
to.
he had-
Because look,
Right.
because at his age, and this is what I had to understand to make myself feel better, because I was just like, my dad's so much smarter than me, I'll never be the man that he is.
You're right.
And realistically, that was a huge problem that I had to face as a kid. Like,
You had to overcome
how am I
that.
ever going to be as much of a man? Because to me, you're supposed to be a better man than your
That's how
father.
different gener.
Yeah,
Shut
yeah.
up.
But different,
swear.
but no,
Different
yeah.
I just said
but,
that.
Yeah.
But no, look. Okay, my clutch went out. I knew that it was between the transmission and the motor. That's where the clutch is. So I tear it apart because I don't have $480, which would be a steal now, but in the day, to fix the shit.
Yeah.
So you tear it apart, it's 4 pieces. Came out one way, had to go in the other way. That's how I learned to do a clutch.
Exactly.
He learns to do a clutch. Your clutch goes out. Not that either one of you can probably drive a manual, but if you had a clutch,
Absolutely. I can.
no, I'm just saying,
I could learn.
you
but I can't.
YouTube that shit.
YouTube it.
We didn't have YouTube.
That's what and that's exactly what
But we had Chilton manuals.
that's exactly
Ask your dad what a
No,
Chilton manual is.
that's exactly what I was about to expand on, because my father told me with his dirt bike, like, he had a manual where he
Yep.
was just able to know how to do it. For me, it's like I'd have to watch YouTube.
Yeah.
But for him, he had some type of teaching, but it was a more difficult teaching because you don't have a visual really like, all right, unscrew this, do this. You know, it was
different.
it was still more difficult no matter what. It was still more difficult for him. But I used to look at those things and I'm
But
just
we
like,
never thought of it as being difficult.
you know how to do these things
sucked.
exactly, and for
Yeah.
him it was just like there's a but just like when you first got here, you said you're a problem solver. That was my dad. He's the same way. If the AC's not working, why is it not working?
That's generational.
Like instead of calling an AC
You
person,
just-
to
I
come
gotta
work on
brag
it,
for a second.
you proved my
So,
point. That was generational.
My uncle,
You're right.
right? My uncle, his brother, right? We talk every Wednesday, right? And he is a engineer.
A real engineer.
A real engineer. They talk about that all the time, right? So, he says he's a real engineer. We were talking about he spent a week, right? And this wasn't out of necessity. Let's be real. You have the money to be able to fix it if you chose to.
What are you talking
Okay.
about?
Emily's GLX,
Fucking 3 weeks.
her Mercedes.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's the thing.
Shit.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. We talk about he had to, right?
Yeah.
He really, if it came down to it, you didn't
You're
have
right.
to.
You're right.
You didn't have to. Okay. Instead of taking it to somewhere else, right? And I don't care if this is on camera or not. We're just talking at this
no,
point.
you're on, yeah.
So the he spent 3 weeks, quite literally, fixing this Mercedes, right? And Mercedes, I know, is some of the hardest cars to work
I
on.
learned a lot.
right?
Yeah.
At
One
52.
of the
I
hardest
learned
cars to work on. He took it apart, researched what he had to, looked up videos, yada yada yada, parts, ordered the parts themselves, did all this shit, right? Fixed it, and was like, now he thinks there's still an issue with it, but
I know what the
that's
issue
just-
is. We're not going to go into that.
Yeah,
Brett at the service desk at Mercedes.
Yeah.
But no, we're not gonna talk about that.
Yeah, but I
But,
totally
like,
get it.
holy shit,
and
But you learn more than you thought. Is the point? Trust me.
sure.
Push comes to shove. the flashlight kid, as you like to put
even
it.
but even and
You learned it.
even in the most simplistic ways, I remember that we painted my room TCU colors because I used to want to be
A horned frog.
I wanted to go to TCU. That
Right.
was my dream college. I'm from Texas, Fort Worth, Texas. TCU was my dream college to go to. We painted my room TCU colors, purple and white.
Yeah.
And I remember we got done for the day, and it was like 9-10 p.m. And I'm like, all right, it's late. We'll put all my stuff back in the room at whatever after. And he was like, no, fuck that. Like, I remember him getting kind of mad at me. Like, he was like, what?
You got a second coat.
You're my son, and you want to fucking put this shit off until tomorrow because it's late?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember him telling me, no, fuck that. We don't half-ass shit. You're going to put everything back in here. You're going to go to sleep in here tonight, and everything's going to be fine. And simple shit like that. But I just look at that, and I'm just like, this motherfucker, bro. Like, what a fucking hero, bro.
one of the
What an
proudest
alpha male.
moments
What an
I
alpha
was-
male.
One of the only, not only, I take that back. One of the moments where I was like,
Victory.
I'm gonna impress my dad,
Mm.
right? Was we were like, we have to make cuts on these boards to make this, and it was something stupid. It was like a garden box.
It was Rontini.
Yeah. And he was like, we have to make cuts on this wood, and I don't have the correct saw blade to do it.
I don't have a saw at all.
Didn't have a saw, right? So I've got to go home and get a saw, right? And he made marks on all of the wood, and I went into the shed, and I found a saw that it was a drywall saw, I think, not
It was
even
a
like
keyhole
a
saw with just it was a saw.
Yeah.
And he thought saw.
So
I
saw.
We
Yeah.
came back and he had them all cut. He
Really?
cut them all by hand.
Mm.
But another proud moment, he bought me this watch, and I love this watch. It's my prized possession. It's a Citizen. It's Navy SEALs. Blue Angel. And I'm like, this is the most amazing watch because he collects watches, and I tear apart every watch he ever bought.
Yeah.
I'm like, I hate secondhand.
On
I hate
purpose.
the man. I hate this. I hate that. So this watch came out, and I was like, oh shit, this is the perfect watch. I actually paused the TV, and I said, here, that's the perfect watch. This son of a bitch went out and bought it for me for Father's Day. I love it. So he comes back, and he's like, Dad, it's the only watch you never pulled apart. And I'm just speechless because I know how much this watch is. I'm like, holy shit, this is awesome. You know, where'd you get the money, but I'm thinking to myself, where'd you get the money? This is too much.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, this is the most amazing thing ever. And he's like, yeah, it's got this. It radios the fucking tower every night and resets. It's the atomic clock. And it's got this and it's got that. And he's proud. And I'm happy. And I'm blessed. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then he goes and ruins it. And he's like, and I know that the Blue Angels, you being in the Air Force, that means so much to you. I'm like, yeah, son, that's Navy.
it's a Navy.
I was like,
Yeah, you tried.
I was like,
You fucking idiot.
Stop one sentence short, it would have been the most perfect moment in the world. But it was like, and I know you being in there, I was like, oh God, don't say it. But no, it's awesome. And then really cool, you flash forward 15 years, 14 years, whatever the hell it was.
Mhm.
And our really good friend of ours got to go in the Blue Angels and she wore it. So this is
She got to
actually
wear it
been-
in the
That's
Blue Angels.
That's
awesome.
fucking
So it's actually
amazing.
been in.
And-
It doesn't increase the value, you can't prove it, but
Yeah.
to me,
Yeah.
you know,
Those are the biggest things, though.
this I mean, when I say it's my prized possession, I'm not kidding.
yeah.
Mm.
You know, it's amazing. And honestly, anything nice I have came from him because I mean, he's become what he's become, and he's successful. And the problem that he has, his biggest downfall, if I have to point out a fault, is he's never satisfied where he's at.
Mm.
He doesn't understand the
Yeah.
situation that he's in at the point of his life. And one thing I told him that I hope he takes, and you've regurgitated to me before, so I know you heard me when I said it, but you can't compare your chapter 3 to other people's chapter 40.
Okay.
Mm. Yeah.
And that's
yeah.
a huge thing.
That's
I've gotten so much better.
so beautiful
I
that you
feel-
brought that up.
Yeah.
Is because I feel like I relate so much
Mm.
because I also and my dad, he used to do this thing where he'd say at 18 I was moved out and I was doing
Different world.
no, but we've talked about this
Yeah.
and I've explained that to him. I'm like, Dad, we're talking about two different worlds.
Yeah.
We're talking about two whole different situations. Like my dad is 59 and I'm 24, so there's an age gap there,
Yeah.
right?
No shit.
And and I'm just
What the
like,
fuck?
Dad, like, this is a totally different time. I need you to understand that I'm living through a completely different time than you. And of course, just like he looks up to you, I look up to my dad, and I'm like,
Right.
I want to be where you were. I want to do great things.
But you also, a lot of people, and I don't mean to cut you off,
You're good. You're good.
but it's on the same, just piggybacking. At 59, 52, me, your dad 59, when I came in, the joke was, what is this place? You're like, oh, it's an office building. I'm like, no shit.
Yeah.
The fact that you are your age, sub 30, how old are you? You just
24.
said 24.
Yeah.
Jesus, you're a
He's
baby.
younger than me.
So to have an office space where we're filming this, by the way,
Cool as
and
fuck.
to have a
Dude.
studio,
So
I have
funny.
no idea.
you know what I mean?
Bro.
And doing what you want to do and making it, doing it, there's a difference.
Yeah, you're supporting yourself, bro.
Okay? To do with that, no matter how impressive that is or isn't to you,
Mm.
at 59, your dad is going to bed tonight going, fuck, he's off my payroll. I don't know what he does.
That's a
I
real
don't
thing.
know how serious he is about it,
Mm-hmm.
but he's off my payroll.
And that's a real
Yeah.
thing, because my dad has told me, I don't think you know how proud I am of you.
Exactly.
And I really don't think that
And
I
that's
do.
all you need to hear.
Because all I know is my proud of myself. I don't know his
That's
proud of
it.
me. And I'm just like,
But he told you.
I got a studio
Yeah.
spot, but
That's
But
huge of him
but
to
he
tell
told
you.
you.
right, exactly, exactly. And
I'm
and
52, and my dad has told everybody in my world that he's proud of me. He's never said it to me. I'm still chasing that fucking approval.
yeah,
And it's not that it's not like, oh, my dad's the shit. I want to be my dad. I respect what he's been through. He's
Right,
got a
yeah.
whole different set of troubles. And,
And that's-
now,
and-
after therapy, you sound queer as hell. After therapy. But not even about my dad, just learning about people.
Yeah.
I understand my dad.
yeah,
And I get it. And I've come to peace. We
Yeah.
went 7 years.
Mm.
7 years recently.
Mm-hmm.
He missed his life. He missed my daughter's life. 7 years
Mm.
without contact. Now, I sent the Happy Father's Day. I sent the Merry Christmas. I sent the Happy Birthday. So I can never be
The bare
bad guy.
minimum.
I
The
can't
bare
be the
minimum.
bad guy. My only son. Now everything you did is justified because I didn't send a text or I didn't make a call. So I covered those bases. But if you choose not to be in my kids' lives, then that's your choice. It doesn't mean we're gone. And then even after all of that, we reconnect and he tells my wife, whatever you're paying his therapist, which I don't have, I'll pay half because he is being so nice to me. Motherfucker, I've always been nice to me. Okay?
Yeah.
So back to your story. Your dad is infinitely proud
Yeah.
of what you're doing here. Okay?
Mhm.
I guarantee that. 100%.
Mm.
It sounds like he's expressed it.
I've been chasing my
Yeah.
dad's approval forever.
He'll never get it. But, but the fact that you have done that, you've won.
And real quick,
Yeah.
I want to say on that joke you just made, my dad's father was much harder than my dad is.
It's always
He
that way.
was military. He
Mhm.
was. He's older. He's like 96 right now. I mean, he's very old school. And he never told
Would not
my-
approve
he,
of you at all.
He never. No. He.
No,
he,
him.
Okay. Okay.
When you,
made-
when you said that, I was like,
Yeah.
he's probably been talking about it.
Real quick. So my girlfriend is actually, she's light skinned, and she's like, and he approves.
I
of
met
her.
Me
Oh,
too,
you
bro.
did.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
So she's light skinned.
I'm
So
that forgettable.
he
Don't
might
worry about
would
it.
approve of him.
Mm.
So anyways, he was the type that didn't tell my father that he loved him. He didn't hug him. He didn't do certain things. That's just like my dad did all those things for me, and my father. I believe, and don't let me misquote this. I could be completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure I remember my father telling me that his dad didn't really congratulate him. It wasn't ever like you could always do better.
Different
and he
time.
was different time, and that's what makes me so proud of my dad to see that he changes that.
Broke the cycle.
Broke the cycle
Mm-hmm.
and is able to tell me, son, I'm proud of you. And he tells me, I love you. He gives me a hug before we leave after having a
Yep.
drink at Blind Tiger. He'll tell me he loves me, hug me, leave. And it's crazy to think that his father,
Didn't
I
do
don't
any of
think
that.
did that type
Nope.
of stuff for him.
My
at
brother
all.
and I, and I call him my brother, and just transparency, it doesn't even fucking matter. He's actually my dad's step brother, so he's actually my step uncle, which is really fucked up.
Okay.
So okay, he touched
Yeah,
me.
well, you lost me.
He
but...
touched me, and
What? Yo!
he paid for my therapy. I got over it. But no, the whole
We're cool now.
Yeah, we're totally cool now.
Yo!
Yeah, everything I do to him is voluntary now. I'm
Yeah.
an adult.
Totally consensual.
I don't care. But, so his dad was let's just say we both had kind of absent father figures.
Mhm.
Like my dad and I were like competitors. Like we raced motorcycles until I got better, then we quit. Then we raced go-karts until I got better and we quit. Okay, fine. But
just better than your dad. Right?
yeah, what's up? So
He's like, fuck this podcast.
You should see what
Dislike.
you should see what my mom says. But no, they when it yeah, you got it. It's sick. So we are 100% dads. 100% dads to a fault.
Mhm.
And we both say, sober and drunk, that we learned what not to do. So that was our example. So breaking the cycle hits home with me because we broke that cycle. Okay.
Yeah.
Now he has the resources and the financial resources and the ability to do a lot more for his kids than I could. But at the end of the day, we came out flush because it's the time and it's the opportunity that we provide to them. It doesn't matter where it's at. It doesn't matter. His travel with cross country was regional. Okay, we're talking Mobile, Little Rock, Texas, fucking whatever. Okay. Their travel with travel soccer was Seattle, San Diego, out of Nashville, okay? And Carolinas, I mean, it was a lot more expensive, a lot more. It doesn't matter. The fact that we were there and that we supported positively and negatively, fucking go out there and be a teammate or quit. That's negative. That was a bad weekend. But we're talking about it 10 years later.
Yeah.
So it was a
As an
positive.
experience, I never did it again.
So it was a positive
Yeah.
weekend. You know what I'm saying? So we were able to be there. And we all took, and he has a girl his age who's in med school, and then two twins that are 2 years older than his sister. They're in Georgia and Queens College in North Carolina. One's a soccer player, one's sorority girl, and doing well. Well, one time we took them all to a Bristol day race in April. So it's two guys, two 40-something dudes with two, whatever, probably 9-year-olds.
No, had to be
You guys were like
7 or 8.
All right,
yeah.
so 7-year-olds and then one baby girl and two 4, 5, or 6-year-olds. Anyway, it was two guys with 5 children at a NASCAR race, which is a fucking fiasco. And people are looking at us like we're nuts. And we're sitting there watching them play, cooking hot dogs on a grill. They don't give a fuck. They're having a blast. They're knowing their cousins, whatnot. Not even cousins, but family.
Yeah.
And we looked at each other. And we're like, it's so funny. Right now, we're considered dads of the year. And in our minds, we just got an extra Bristol. Our wives are like, you guys are the best. Go. And they're bragging. And we're like, we just got to come up here and drink beer again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to. So your dad is infinitely proud of what you're doing. And I know your dad has to be proud of what you're doing. Because you guys are young. And yeah, okay, at his age, I already had him. And I owned a house.
Yeah.
Right.
Big fucking deal. That was Air Force. I mean, that's a whole nother podcast. You want to know how I joined the Air Force? That's fucked up. I was going to sell weed to pay for school.
Tell us on the
Yeah.
dad's episode.
Yeah, we'll go on the dad's episode. But
yeah.
I'm saying, trust me, with what you guys are pulling off, and we're sitting here drinking fucking whatever iceless shit we're drinking and playing wet card ass Uno that I know you cheated at. But
Hey, I won. Fair square.
why did he pull them cards off? But anyway, so trust me on that. As a dad, to know where y'all are at, generational, you guys are doing awesome. And all I can say is keep it up. And that's just, from the heart. That's gospel. I'm not bullshitting y'all. And thanks for having me on. I mean, this
I
was
should
fun.
kiss you right now.
Absolutely, man.
Come on. I can't wait to meet your dad. I can't wait to meet your dad.
Dude.
And
I
if you
think-
guys go forward with this 3-dad thing, I think it'll be a
I
blast.
think at this point,
Yeah,
I think at this
Be a
point we
great
have to
time.
make it happen.
We gotta
At
make
this
it
point, we have
happen.
to make it happen.
Yeah.
I honestly
Just bring more of
Shanty man.
Shanty
the
man.
Shanty Man.
Yes,
Absolutely.
please.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
no, I can't thank you guys enough for real. Seriously.
Hey, it was good. I met you before, but it was good really meeting you today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
actually
able to
talking
really
you
talk
is-
to you
yeah.
more
Yeah.
than the last time I met you. It was just kind of pop in. Hey, I'm
Dropping
Cam.
off stolen liquor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
But I
we kind
knew-
of blazed in, blazed out, all dressed in black. I don't know what the hell you thought.
But
I was like,
but what's crazy is that I knew that I'd get along with you
Yeah,
from the
yeah.
fucking time that I laid my eyes on
Well, I
you.
appreciate it.
Like
so I was sitting like facing the window and
Yep.
yo did that like as y'all were about to walk through the door. I was like, yeah, I think it's true. So your parents are there?
he looks old as
that,
fuck.
That guy seems like a cool ass guy.
Appreciate
No,
that.
but I knew you'd be cool as fuck, and
Yeah.
and I just met Cam this year. In fact, through the podcast, somebody at his Christmas party the other night was asking me like how we met, and he's being a dick, like, "Oh, we know you run a podcast," and I'm like, "Motherfucker, I met you from us running a podcast, and my homeboy
Yeah.
bringing you on the podcast."
I secretly hope, and this is a shout out, I was secretly hoping Calm would be on here because I was just going to trash him relentlessly nonstop.
What's crazy?
But then you spilled your shit immediately, and it took all the pressure.
What's
off
crazy though? What's crazy that you mentioned that is that if we had a bigger table and more cameras, we could do Calm and Calm's dad, you and Cam,
Absolutely.
him and his dad,
Yeah.
me and my dad, and have a
Absolutely.
fucking fiasco.
Yeah.
3
Calm-
cam dads.
Fiasco!
Yeah, we'll get all the cams. Well,
And
I
two
mean,
slides.
and-
Two
but-
slides
yeah,
sitting at a
dumb
table.
shit. And it's
Sly
like,
Junior, by the way.
I love Calm. He calls me like late, and I'm like, okay, either he's fucking in trouble. I was like, what's up? So I answer phone, hello. And he's like, no. I was like, dude, I love you. This is the truth. I just shoot him straight fucking truth. He goes, thanks, pops, and he hangs up. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I wake up like, was that a dream? What the fuck? But nah, he's awesome. But
Well, look,
no,
man,
this was awesome. Thank you guys.
It was awesome having you on. I honestly, we could have gone so much longer. I wish we had cameras with an infinite fucking battery and life storage.
We'd be
because
rich.
We'd be going on. No, this has been an amazing episode, and I think what judges a good episode for us is would we watch it,
Okay.
right? Would we
Yeah.
would we watch that? And I would watch this episode. I would watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
all of it.
our audience is mainly men, and
Hell yeah.
I think that this episode resonates with a lot of young guys.
Yeah,
you
we
know,
kind of.
with
I
their
mean, we're
fathers
gonna have to
and
go
stuff,
back
so.
and actually think about this. We were all over the map, y'all.
We were. We went
and-
all over the place. Like we
But
spoke on
honestly,
religion.
Yeah.
but to be honest, we stuck.
So
we
much more.
we talked out each topic we brought up pretty well.
And what I appreciate, personally, nobody was looking at note cards in their lap trying to figure out what the next question is. We didn't
No.
prep for this. This
So-
was 100% organic.
Yeah.
And I want to say
That's
something
what I
about
love about
that
this
real quick.
podcast.
Is we've already talked about we need to have a little pre-production. We need to kind of know who we're having on and things like that. And
With this
We
specific
do.
one, I was like,
with this specific one, but even with some other ones, I'm just kind of like, I feel like nothing beats when you can just naturally go into
Yeah.
it and just have a good conversation. Like if you're sitting in a bar. When I'm sitting in a bar with you,
Yeah.
I don't have a questionnaire that tells me who you are.
we
Right,
have
right.
had episodes recently where, and this was where they were talking about the anger side of things
Mhm.
from me, where if we would have had, we needed a little bit more planning,
Mm.
and that was because of the guests, not because of the
I
podcast.
can see where
Um,
something like this could go sideways quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, it's not even.
Especially if you don't watch the
Yeah,
podcast.
and it's not. It's
and
not
that's
even,
a big thing.
And it's not even the diversity. It's personalities.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You got to watch it. But funny, real quick, finish up. Awesome story. You're talking about meeting somebody at a bar. Okay? And you always hear it's a small world.
I know the story.
He knows. So you always hear small world. And it's usually, oh, you're from Shreveport, I'm from fucking Houghton. Oh, small world.
Yeah.
I'm in Knoxville, Tennessee, living in Shreveport, Louisiana, from Tampa, Florida. My brother's with me. He's from Nashville, Tennessee. We're in an Outback Steakhouse, 3 deep at the bar.
Okay.
True story. Trying to get up there. Brother and I are arguing. He's like, you gotta try the wings. I was like, they don't have wings. Yeah, Outback has the best one. I was like, Outback started in Tampa. They don't have wings. Arguing. Big old corn-fed motherfucker. beside us. He's like, oh, they got wings. They're outstanding. I'm like, awesome. Shoulder to shoulder. Can't move, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, so you're in a bar. What do you ask? What do you do? Where are you from? That's going to start any conversation, just like you were talking about, being in a bar. That's what triggered that. And he's like, oh, I'm from Illinois and I do such and such. I was like, oh, okay, cool. What part of Illinois? He goes, little town, never heard of it. Try me. I've been all over Illinois. Try me.
Good catch.
So he tells me the town, and it is a tiny shithole town. And I was like, oh, me being an asshole in my 30s. I used to fuck a bitch from such and such town, Illinois. And he goes, really? He goes, what's her name? So I dropped the name. And he goes, He goes, that's my sister. And I was like, fuck you, bullshit. This is 1995, 1996.
Yeah.
No cell phones. And he pulls out his wallet, shows me a picture of said girl. His boy is bigger than him. My brother is smaller than me.
He's a big cornbread fed motherfucker.
I was like, we're getting our ass kicked in a fucking Outback in Knoxville, Tennessee. And I'm like, man, I'm so sorry. And he goes,
She's got the what?
he goes, no, dude. He goes, chill. She's a whore. And I was like, thank God. I bought him a beer.
Thank you,
I was like, oh, fuck. But I mean, so watch what you say. It's the point of the story. I've never used those words again. Oh, I used to fuck a whore. No, you don't say that because it's a
don't
small
say
town.
that.
I should have thought. But anyway,
Yeah.
I appreciate it, guys. This was
Thank
awesome.
you.
Dude,
This is awesome.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, man.
It was
Yeah,
really
guys.
good
It was
being able to
such a
talk to you and
pleasure.
everything. I look forward to having you on again with the dads.
Absolutely. Now I'm gonna go find some ice.
It has been the on game.
Good luck.
Guys, this has been the On Game Show. We hope you guys enjoyed the show. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Help support us. It's we're growing rather quickly, and we're loving to see the growth. Please help us out. Share with some people that you know if you resonate with anything in this podcast. And remember, you know what it's like to be a good one. Continue to do so. We'll see you next week. Have a good one.
See you.
Peace out.
Thank you.